we go. All right, we are on. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our first session of Vaesen. We have gathered our mystery investigators here to start their career in learning more about the secrets of Vaesen, and we will be pushing this up hopefully every bi-weekly to YouTube on Lucas G Variety. And then it will also end up in podcast with Rem Alternus in the future,
Eventually.
eventually, when said people have time to make that happen. So, all right. So Vaesen is a Nordic horror mystery game where our players here are taking on the roles of investigators. They are going to investigate the strange and mysterious things that occur in Sweden, is where this takes place. And it'll be rooting around in Swedish, actually Nordic folklore, and we'll add our own little flavor to it. We're gonna try to sprinkle in some historical facts about Sweden, but since I am not from Sweden, I horrible if I try to even speak with a Swedish accent. I will do my best not to um, embarrass the country of Sweden as best I can. With that said, I'm going to kick it over to our players, have them introduce their characters. Let's start with Adam.
Okay. Hello. Yep. My character is Hugo Skite. I'm a writer, middle age, 41. Um, one trauma that I've had, I've heard the song of the neck, but failed to write down the lyrics. So that's just been bothering me. And so I don't know what the song of the neck is. That a basin, I assume? Anyways, and then I'm searching for a certain basin as my motivation to be here. I've kind of had a life of partying, um, bar hopping, and made a lot of friends that way. Also made some enemies. And my memento is a tame pigeon because apparently we are a traveling zoo. So that's my character.
So do you keep this pigeon like in a cage with you? Is
Is
it
in a cage. Yep. So my dog doesn't eat him, but so yeah,
okay?
I just carry the cage around with me.
So you have a pigeon and a bird dog. It's a good
You have a
combination.
pigeon and a dog.
All right. Okay. Uh, all right, Ava.
Yes, so I am playing Eva Sheehan, and she is not from the area. She's originally from Ireland. Um, however, she's old. 56, I believe, is where I put her. So she's the by far the oldest of the group. I think old enough to be any of their mothers or grandmothers in certain cases. Um, However, she's probably the hardest of the group as well. She's not weak or flimsy or you don't want to mess with this old bird. It's unclear what she is searching for, but as her chef well knows, she's hunting for something. She never stays in one place for long. She's seeking out information and knowledge about the Vaesen. And she's got a hunting dog.
That's two dogs
Her
and one bird.
her item, her memento is actually a pair of like hand sewn dolls, like for children.
Hmm. All right, Michael.
All right. Hi. My character's name is Lucario Shackleton, and I am a religious magician. Uh, um, I come from a religious family, and I became very close with a couple of the priests in the area that I was living in. Uh, my motivation for this journey is to learn more about the Vaesen, and my trauma was I was attacked by a white raven with glowing blue eyes,
Oh,
out of nowhere. Uh, and yeah, and then my memento is a small bottle of perfume that reminds me of someone.
all right.
Yeah.
And Brandon.
All right. So, my name is Brandon. My character's name is Frederick Falcone, and he is a chef. He's a very sickly individual. He was plagued from early childhood by drafty windows, vermin, poor diet, etc. But he managed to raise himself from poverty to the place he is now, serving the aforementioned Eva as her personal chef. Um, and he's risen through the ranks to become a household name among the nobility of Sweden, known as a chef who can perform near miracles. And as such, as he is devoted to his craft, his particular memento is a field kitchen that he keeps with him at all times to be able to cook no matter where or when he is.
Very good.
As far as his motivation and trauma goes, his motivation is that at heart he's a kindly individual, and he has an urge to help humans and Vaesen alike. He's aware of the current state of the world and how humans are humans are immersed in conflict, both with each other and with Vaesen, and he has an urge to help both. And once upon a time, his trauma is that in his very early career as a chef, before he served Eva, he once served a household that was plagued by a changeling.
Oh, interesting. All right. I realized I had you in the wrong box, so I had to quickly move your images around, but you didn't notice. I don't think anyone saw that.
I
So,
did not notice.
okay. And Kaiser.
I am playing Astor Lindquist. He is the group's doctor. He is 34 years old. His trauma is that during a surgery, or rather during an autopsy, the corpse he was operating upon came back to life. His motivation is to strengthen the society and become a leader inside of it. And his memento is an old love letter from his recently deceased wife.
Oh. All right. So now we've all that is our cast for Vaesen, and each of you referred to the trauma that your character went through. And
I
this
didn't.
trauma, oh, you didn't? Please, let's
No.
throw it out there.
Well, I guess hers isn't too secret. When she was young, she broke her leg in the forest and then was led home by a will-o'-the-wisp.
Oh,
Nice.
I
So
forgot to
this,
mention that I'm probably the youngest in the cast.
By far.
I'm 18, so I'm baby.
you are the child in the cast.
Indeed.
That is for
And
sure.
characters.
And,
And character.
You could be Eva's grandchild. I think. I have to do some math.
Do some math on that? Yeah. Yeah. Um, excellent. So each of you have a trauma that at some point in your life occurred, and this trauma is what activated the ability in you called the sight. And the sight is what allows you to see the Vaesen, or Vaesen,
Oh.
it's pronounced. So Vaesen they have the ability to hide themselves from normal sight, but they cannot hide themselves from you. Well, maybe they can. There may be ways they can, but you are the unique among the people. Um, you're also referred to as Thursday's children, is another name for people who have the sight. And that is why you sought out the society. Through your study and your interest of learning more about Vaesen, you discovered um, evidence of a society and that existed in Uppsala, and you have reached out to that and created some and established communication with an individual named Linnea. And through your correspondence and questions and answers, you've built just a touch of a relationship with this individual, and you were invited to Uppsala and to meet face to face. And she has indicated she would answer your questions and help you um, with your exploration into the Vaesen world. So that is where we are going to begin our story. So each of you have gathered in Uppsala, Sweden, and you are, let's see, you are staying at the Hotel Botanica Uppsala. And here you are to meet at dinner. It is a Tuesday night. Specifically, it is, let's get our date. I know our players like dates. So it is August 3rd, 1880. It is it is evening, close to 5 o'clock. So the temperature outside in Uppsala at this time is about 62 degrees. The sky is clear. The city is busy. Uppsala is one of the central cities in Sweden. It's a very busy city. So the hotel is alive with people coming in and out. The dining area is packed, and you are all making your way to dining. So who of you are together already? Because I believe the chef was.
Mhm. Eva is Frederick's employer, so I believe he would at least be nearby in the general vicinity.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely.
So we'll say, yeah. So Frederick and Eva, you arrive first. Um,
This is a reminder. Brandon, brush your teeth.
Eva is waiting, actually. Eva does not arrive first because Frederick is brushing his teeth.
Just brushing his teeth. Gotta keep that dental hygiene up.
Okay.
Try.
So,
I
and
lost
then
it.
one of Hugo's background is that he was chosen by a wealthy benefactor who paid and housed him to produce arts. I don't know if that was possibly Eva as well, or her family, or um, but anyways, we had a strange collaboration, and because we were so different, but lived together for a period of time.
Oh, you lived with so Hugo lived with this sponsor, or
Yes.
lived in one of their estates.
Yep.
Yeah, so that individual actually could be in Uppsala if you wanted to. So you
Yeah, I
would
feel
have
like it wasn't Eva.
okay.
She travels a lot.
And Frederick goes where his employer does. So
It might have been somebody she was familiar with in this, because I mean, she runs in technically aristocratic circles, so
Yeah.
they
Okay.
might have
Yep.
met in passing at some time.
All right.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay. So Eva and Frederick, you make your way down to the dining hall, and it is busy, and you're standing there, and someone comes to greet you, and you give them their name for your reservation. Um, and she's very polite. She says, hold on, we'll get your seat ready. For whatever reason, it wasn't ready for you. And then who would arrive next?
Maybe Aster.
All right, Aster. So what is, I should have asked the other two, but Aster, what do you wear to this dinner? How is your character dressed?
He is dressed smartly. He is wearing, shirt and tie, and he's not a gaudy dresser. He doesn't wear any jewelry. It's just good quality clothes.
Very good. So Eva and Frederick, you see this gentleman arrive, and what is Eva's attire?
I feel like Eva, I'm just gonna say Eva, one of her homesteads is in or near Uppsala, or shortly will be. But so she would have, I mean, she's an aristocrat technically. She would be dressed like one for this dinner.
Okay. So very formal dinner. Okay. And
Quite
Frederick?
formal, yeah.
Frederick would very clearly not be an aristocrat. He is a servant of a wealthy individual, so he wouldn't be dressed poorly, of course.
So he's got the good linens.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, he's very, very clearly a servant.
All right. So Aster, you give your name and the reservation, and that is when Eva and Frederick realize that you are dining with them.
It seems the food was not ready. A pleasure to meet you both. I am Aster.
I've got to get my Irish accent.
We all got to get into the characters. We're coming out of the icebox. Cold.
Were they aware that there were others, or was this just meet
No.
here, Linnea's name, and okay.
No, you were not aware.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna close the blinds.
A good servant does not speak first.
Every time I try, it's English, not Irish.
I mean, he might ask, and it is a pleasure to finally meet you, Linnea.
Not Linnea, I'm afraid.
Hmm.
I was not informed that there would be others. We are also here to meet Linnea, and she's apparently got more of an English accent than Irish. It's fine. She traveled Europe.
I see. Well, it is a pleasure to meet both of you, nonetheless.
I am Eva Sheehan, and this.
Frederick Falcone.
I got it. I had to find the page.
She can't remember her servant's name.
It's
Frederick.
Okay, she has a
I
lot of
just
servants.
I just call him servants.
It's Frederick.
Frederick.
He doesn't have a name.
And yes, it appears that our table is not ready yet.
Or excuse for a chef.
You
My
speak.
apologies, milady. And Frederick's going to bow and back up. He misspoke.
You've heard her say worse. Not in polite company, though.
You speak with authority in the area. Are you an expert?
I'll rely on my employer to tell you that.
Yes.
Makes a
I
mean
pride
fillet.
myself somewhat on my expertise in the area.
I see. I myself am a doctor, and he will gesture to Ava.
All right. So Hugo.
You go. All right.
You walk up, and in the midst of these three people having a conversation, you go to the receptionist and give the name of the party. And the three of you hear another individual asking for the Linnea party.
Yes, this will be a
Oh.
lot busier dinner than I was expecting.
And she says, "We're sorry, sir. Please wait with your other guests. We're in the process of getting the table ready."
Very
And
well.
you notice they're really busy, and this place must be, it's obviously popular place to dine. It is upscale, so a lot of gentry, primarily gentry here, but the place is very on the high end. They have a dozen tables or so. You can smell the food coming from the kitchen in the back. People are really enjoying themselves. There's a lot of wine, and you don't hear the tinking of glasses as people talk, and um, so it's definitely busy.
Food smell good?
Mm.
Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Does the food smell high quality?
It does. It smells like they're doing a pretty good job. So
Hmm.
you can probably pick out like some tweaks they could make. You recognize perhaps the recipes they're using in the sheep or the lamb perhaps that they're cooking up. Um, so you're already making inventory in your back what might be good on this menu and what may be avoided. So Hugo, you're standing there, and after you introduce yourselves, you glance over and you see the other three looking at you, realizing that, or they know that you're with them, but you may be wondering why they're looking at you.
Hmm.
Although she
All
did say
right.
wait with your party, so this could be them.
Okay. All right. So they're already seated though, right?
No, you're all standing,
Oh, we're
unfortunately.
standing
Yeah,
waiting.
you're
Okay.
waiting for your table.
All right. Um. So yeah. So Hugo would walk. He would be kind of. He would dress. I mean, he would dress nice with a tie and kind of like a probably a brown jacket or something. Nothing fancy. He's middle class, so it wouldn't be definitely. You can tell it's not high end, but he would try to dress as nice as he can. Um. And so I just asked the lady if I can have a glass of wine while I wait.
Yes, yes, of course. So she goes off and to get you a glass of wine.
Okay. All right. Well, and then while she's doing that, I'd go over to the group then and just introduce myself. So, hello, my name is Hugo. And so we must all have been summoned by the same person.
Would seem.
Now I'm just hoping there's not a sixth person. Otherwise, the table might be a bit full.
Good. Know how to handle that?
I'm concerned for seats more than
An
the food.
establishment such as this would have no problem with a party of 6.
All right, Lucario,
All right.
you come wandering in. How are you dressed?
Well, since I'm a worker and magicians don't really get a whole lot of money, I come in with a raggedy yellow cloak that may or may not used to be white. A couple tears and stains on it. And I walk up to the receptionist and I ask, like, "Oh, I'm here for the specific reservation." Um, and I bless them. I say, "God bless you. Like, thank you so much."
She's she looks you over, says, "I'm sorry, did you say you were with the Linnea party?"
Yes, that's me.
Oh, well, why your parents may be over there. Why don't you just wait
Like,
with them?
excuse me. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, just
I
over
think
there.
you have a misunderstanding, ma'am. Uh, I came here alone.
Child, if you're here for the Linnea party, so are we.
Oh, thank goodness I wasn't the only one. Oh, oh, joyous. Thank the Lord.
Frederick has one eyebrow climbing sky high. Not saying anything though.
No, one of the servers walks up to you, Hugo, and hands you the wine. Sir, your wine.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
And he glances at the newcomer who's in tattered clothing, kind of gives it a raised eyebrow, and then turns and walks back to his duties.
I love being the poor one.
Okay, so the five of you standing there, and it's actually taking some time. And you see the receptionist is actually, they actually sat other people who showed up after you. But eventually, unless someone goes up there, eventually they'll come to you at maybe it's been about 15 minutes. And the receptionist says, oh, we lost. And he's back. Okay, welcome back.
Oh, that wasn't just me.
All right. So she comes up to you and she says, we're sorry, but we're getting your table ready. There's been some confusion about this Linnea party. Has Linnea actually arrived?
Not to our knowing.
Not even sure what she looks like.
Well, your reservation is only for 5, and you 5 are already here. But it's no problem. We can seat you, and we'll have to accommodate should Linnea arrive. We should be able to add one more to the table.
Oh, no worries.
Okay.
Thank you so much for accommodating with our needs. Thank you so much.
She's like, you're welcome.
Frederick's going to attempt to make eye contact and just a polite nod.
And she says, okay, and I'll get this straightened out right away. And she leaves. And you're standing there long enough, like people are looking over at you, like this odd group of people just standing there. So, it feels a little uncomfortable. You feel like everyone in the restaurants has glanced at you at one point or another and wondering why you're just standing there.
Don't worry, my friends. I'm sure she'll come soon enough. It's okay. Don't need to be discouraged.
Hugo just looks at his glass of wine. Yeah, as long as I have this, I'm fine.
All right. So eventually you all go to seat and they sit you at a table. And they start, taking your initial order for what kind of wine you would like and Kool-Aid for the kid.
Yeah. He would like a chocolate milk.
Oh, that would be delightful. All I have is mud water when I'm at home.
It's like Tiny Tim.
Goodness, this place is amazing.
Ma'am, can we have a high chair over here?
So they serve your drinks, and then they start taking your orders for meals. Still no Linnea.
Falcone is going to very quietly just make a few recommendations here and there, and just it's fairly obvious to those he speaks with that he's very aware of what he's talking about. He's very familiar with it.
Eva doesn't make an order. She leaves that to Frederick. Like, she doesn't ever tell him what she wants for dinner or lunch. He just makes it.
He just
He
makes it happen.
He's going to quietly speak with the server, and he's going to order for Eva with a perfect air of authority. He knows exactly what she wants, and he's going to make sure that the proper meal arrives for his master, mistress, master, whatever. Lawyer.
Yeah, Hugo's going to follow that. It's like, I'll have, exactly that. And can you also bring a bottle of red wine? And then I look at the table. Are you guys want anything to drink?
Frederick is going to cast a bit of a side eye at this point and just ask a bottle, a bottle, perhaps a glass of and he's going to look through the menu and cast a finger, and this red, please, for my employer, and I'll have this right here to complement the lamb. Thank you.
All right. So the food comes eventually, and you all notice that Eva's meal is just looks a lot better than yours. Like
Eh,
it's almost like they got carry out from a nicer place, um, and brought it to her. It's even nicer than Frederick's,
Oh,
which
of course, Frederick would never dare to order
speaking of
himself
Frederick,
such the quality
I
of
just
it.
noticed we did the face shuffle here. I got to put everyone back in order since we had that Zoom bomb. Hold on. We're going to get you all back in order. Okay. Excellent. Um,
When in public, Frederick always ensures that his employer's meals are of markedly better quality than his.
I made sure I ordered the fattest lamb they had. As much carbs.
yeah. So this may not be a concern to Eva at all, but the rest of you are a little unsure who's paying for this meal. And just through casual conversation with the servers, they're also unsure who's paying for this meal.
And Frederick knows who's paying for his meal.
Yeah, out of character, I almost asked like who was if the meal was, prepaid, but then I realized Eva's not worried about that.
No, should just
Because
buy the
even if it's
restaurant.
not, yeah.
And Frederick's meal is, I should note it, it's very obvious to the rest of the table. It's fairly simple. It's not even lamb, more a very inexpensive turkey with maybe a few simply prepared vegetables on the side, kind of thing.
All right. So yeah, how are you kind of get the feeling that I don't know, you're being stood up. You feel a little out of place. You've
Throughout
seen a
dinner, I
couple
think
of servers talk to each other and like glance at your table.
Frederick's going to lean over to Eva. Mistress, are we meant to be here?
I'm sure this is what Miss Linnea had intended for us to meet. And it appears as though she intended not to show up. So, remind me in the morning to find a runner to find out if this Linnea is even in Uppsala.
Yes, ma'am. And he's just going to bow his head.
So, for the rest of you, why did you come to meet Linnea?
I came to. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
Astor will say, I came to meet a group of like-minded individuals. I am a doctor, but it is not a conference of doctors.
Cryptic, sir.
Well, let's not beat
Mm.
around the bush, I suppose. Are you all three familiar with the word Vaesen?
Yes, I am actually. I have written some quote unquote fiction about Basin.
Wait,
And
you're the Hugo?
I am the Hugo.
I've read all of your books. You're an inspiration, sir.
Well, thank you.
I can't believe I'm finally meeting you. You're like
Now-
my idol.
Well, thank you. I do my best writing when I'm holding one of these and I pick up my glass of wine.
Oh,
I
I
believe I
do hope you
have-
do that in moderation.
All of your works as well. And
Yes,
none
I
of
do. I do show moderation. I don't open my second bottle of wine until I finish the first one.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I was curious to learn more. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
Well, I suppose in the morning we shall hunt down this Linnea and find out where she actually is. For now, enjoy dinner. I will foot the bill.
Oh, thank you so much. This is the best food I've ever had in years. Maybe my
Hugo-
whole life, even.
Probably ever.
Your generosity, ma'am, is
Yeah.
ever to be admired.
Yes, thank you very much. Hugo's heart started beating again after hearing that. So.
It's nearly prudence.
And order another bottle of wine, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, the wine he's ordering, is this the good stuff or is this like $2 chuck?
It's probably their mid grade, which you wouldn't be caught anywhere near your kitchen,
Of course not.
or you wouldn't let that anywhere near Linnea's kitchen. So,
No,
But
but
it's an
it's
upgrade for me. So
yeah. I mean, for him, it's great. Lucario's
really
never even
positively
smelled it before.
eyeing these bottles as they come in. I mean, I'm going to be looking at these like somebody is putting trash panda leavings on my table. Just how dare. I mean, I'm not saying anything out loud, but definitely.
Right? All right. So, and Aster, I'm not sure what his taste would be in restaurant, or if this is a typical meal for him.
I think he's probably, during his time as a doctor, he's probably done a fair bit of traveling out to poorer parts of the country. Um, so he's probably used to more meager food, but not so overawed by a good meal.
Gotcha.
I think Frederick is going to look at the kid, at the child, and he's going to glance at the child and then glance at Eva, almost as if he's asking permission. It's very clearly a, "Can I go help this little one?" Maybe I feel bad for them.
She'll just give him a nod.
Frederick will absolutely he'll very very quietly, very unobtrusively walk over to the child or walk over to the kid and maybe sort of try to assist him with pointing out a few particularly nice meals and things he thinks that they might find enjoyable.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Man, all of this sounds really delicious.
Of course, thank my mistress. It was her suggestion.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. God bless you. Thank you so much.
He is
Frederick-
Tiny
As much
Tim.
as your little heart can handle.
Frederick's going to bow and retreat to his seat.
thank
All
you,
right.
Frederick, for helping him find the kids menu.
Chicken nuggets.
Sadly, there was no chalky milk.
Well, 18 in the 1880s.
That's still.
He's an adult.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Linnea probably looks at him as a child. But like I said, he's young enough to be her grandson.
Yep.
Yep. He does remind you of Charles Dickens, right? When he's around. So
He does
Little tiny Tim.
got that voice down to a T.
So what do you all do now? Like, your host doesn't show. The restaurant, obviously, they treat you well still. There is confusion, but
Now,
Eva will like let them know well beyond, like, as soon as they figure out she's not showing, she'll either have Frederick do it or do it herself to let the staff know, like,
Frederick will do it.
the bill's covered.
okay. All right. So do you all just, how much more do you share with each other? So you're familiar with Vaesen. Do you go into any other details with each other, or do you just like socializing through dinner?
I would
Um,
imagine the conversation would turn to this odd, what do you call it? Shared trait? Shared
mhm.
that we're all
The
familiar
site?
with? Yeah, well, because we already know through Hugo's work, right? That we're all familiar with Vaesen, that we're all here for roughly the same reason.
I mean, we were
Yep.
all brought here by Linnea, so.
Yeah.
And we
I think-
all kind of got in touch or contacted or were contacted by Linnea after, doing our own. So
Yep. I think yeah, what might come up is, what's the craziest or maybe scariest, Mason that you've ran into, but
Yeah, I would say most of your experiences have been uh, sparse. That you all have your main trauma. You may have
Mhm.
come face to face with one, or seen one, or felt you've seen one. But you can
Well, I've
always
been
add.
hunting them for 30 years.
So yeah, you could share with each other that you have the site. Um, but otherwise, if you wanted to just you finish up, you still have to figure out where this Linnea is.
Did you
Oh.
say that we had like rooms for us,
Yes.
or were we just brought here under the assumption that okay,
No, you actually had rooms paid for even.
okay?
Okay. And do we? So I mean, we know of a little bit of the society, and of course, we got contacted by this Linnea. I mean, do we know even where to try to get in contact with her, or is it pretty much a secret?
Well, you do have.
Where?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I see you have the letters that would have
Okay.
been.
Yeah, what was
Would
the
have had
return
it.
address on those?
So those are. It's. They would be have like a. Um, yeah. So it would be like a post office box, similar to like that in this vicinity.
Okay. Um. Well. Well. What time is it right now? Pretty.
It's pretty like all the delays you had. It's closer to 9 p.m.
Okay. Because what we could do is go back to our rooms, and then in the morning we could try to go to the post office and see maybe, Eva with her poll, maybe we can find out some information about that PO box, maybe get an address or something.
Sounds like the prudent course of information. That's not what I meant to say.
action.
Thank you. That was out of character. That sounds like the prudent course of action.
Gotcha, boss.
All right. So
So,
we will, yeah, if there's anything else your characters want to do in the evening, we can jump to the next day.
There's one thing Eva wants to do. And I'm just gonna say she does have that homestead in or near Uppsala, because she's gonna have like whoever she has maintain this house, this homestead while she's gone. she's gonna have them go out, purchase a new set of clothing, and have it delivered to Lucario's door, where he's staying, the room he's at.
It's
Just without a word, no note. He just has a new set of clothes in the morning.
it simply would not do for evil to be seen in the presence of street filth.
All right. So you send that message out. Are you gonna have them come and actually like fit him?
No, I think the poor boy might die of shock. She'll just basically like estimate size, age, weight.
Okay. All right.
And then maybe we can get them to be actually fitted later if we're gonna be working together.
Yeah.
With this Linnea.
Yep.
He's
She
not
just
wearing that.
nonchalant throughout the night asked those questions, kind of separated from each other. So,
Yeah. He's not wearing his
Oh, like,
Zelda
by the way,
t-shirt.
how
you
much does
weigh?
everybody weigh?
Yeah.
Zelda
Tall,
t-shirt and Donkey
she's
Kong
not too
socks.
worried about like Hugo or Aster. It's just
Yeah.
All right.
rips and stains at an
I
establishment
weigh
like that.
I weigh 0 pounds. I weigh nothing. I'm light as a feather.
A wind blows and carries him off into the
I
distance.
fly away. I am nothing. I am a Minecraft skeleton. Nothing but bone.
All right. So, so it's evening. You all turn in, and I don't know what you turn into, but the next day you're refreshed.
Werewolves.
You know,
Yeah, we're all
I'm not sure they
werewolves.
had like, bagel bars in the 1880, but they probably have some type of breakfast there at the hotel for you. So you all gather for breakfast, and then what is your plan? You got to figure this out.
Oh, I was gonna say Eva. I think Eva and Eva at least probably Frederick as well would have actually returned to her homestead because I
Oh,
had to send him
okay.
out to get. And I mean, I've got a home. Why would I stay at a hotel?
That makes
Filthy.
sense.
I walk out of my room still wearing the cloak. I didn't put any new clothes on.
Okay. Then you
I
walk
just
down to
like
get some
I
food.
thought it wasn't for me. There was a package at the front door. I walk out. Oh, this must be someone else's, and I like move it to the other door next
Oh,
to the next to the room.
So I'm assuming you all then you all agreed like the night before, okay, we're going to figure this out. And perhaps you
Yeah,
agreed to meet here for breakfast.
yeah. No, I think Eva gets a pretty early start in the mornings anyway. She's a hunter. And so I figure she and Frederick are used to, they get up almost before the sun most mornings. And so they will probably have already had breakfast by the time the other three are waking.
Okay.
makes sense.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So you have your breakfast. And what is your plan?
Well, first off, when Eva sees Lucario,
Oh,
did you not get the package I sent?
Oh no, was that for me? Oh, I gave it to the next door person. That they were so kind. They looked like they needed it way more than I did.
We're making a stop before we go to the post office then.
Frederick is trying very hard to stifle laughter. Just...
And besides, I'm quite comfortable in my cloak.
You need a new one.
But I've worn this for years.
I didn't say you must be rid of that one. I said you need a new one.
Oh, I guess it couldn't hurt.
Mistress has a point, child.
I'll give it a shot.
Every man feels better after a morning spent in some new attire.
All right.
It's the only piece of clothing that I've had in my entire life. They
Your
said
entire
I had it
life.
as a baby. Yeah,
You've won.
it was
Nothing
a
else?
blanket. No, I do have ragtag clothes under my cloak. No need to worry. But the cloak has stayed with me.
Deeply concerned.
It badly needs a wash.
Do you think so?
I know
I think
so.
it looks quite nice.
Frederick is going to appear almost out of thin air at Vicario's side and just hold out his arm. Would you like me to take it, sir?
No, thank you.
Promise it will be returned in the best of shape.
Oh. Let me wear it until we get to the place whatever you are going to do for my attire, please.
Frederick,
I feel lost without it sometimes.
Frederick,
Let it be for now, Frederick.
Yes, ma'am. And he's going to return to his place.
They see me pull out like a little bottle of perfume, and I go, tss, tss, and I just put it back. I put it away.
Anyway, once you finish with your breakfast, we'll be.
Finish your Lucky Charms. We gotta go.
Hugo's just drinking a strong cup of coffee and has a cigar and kind of smoking it as he drinks. It just has a terrible headache from
For all the wine.
Maybe too much wine.
If such a thing.
There's such a thing as that.
Remember what I told you last night? Moderation.
All right. So, what is the plan today?
Well, first stop, we're going to find a tailor.
That's gotten added to the plan. And then I think, we're planning after the tailor to go to the post office to see if we can get any information.
Yes. So, like, Linnea will.
She'll be so happy when we all show up at her
Him to
doorstep.
the tailor. To get him at least 3 new sets of clothing. And while they're
Linnea,
fitting
what are you
him,
doing at the tailor?
Like that's their stop. That's their first stop that she mentioned. She'll just hand on his back, gently prod him in if he hesitates, and she will speak with the tailor and be like, give them the specifications, 3 sets of clothing. They need to be, hardy. They need to be able to take a beating. And while they're like sizing him, she'll talk to Frederick and send him out to get like not a knapsack, something better than that, to put his new clothes in.
Yes, ma'am. And Frederick will head out the door. He's going shopping.
All right.
I'm talking to the tailors. I'm like, hey, could you please make it a cloak, at least 1 or 2.
Okay. So Eva, clearly she has the resources to make all that happen with ease. And so you all, so Aster and Hugo, what is your morning like as they're going through making sure that Lucario gets his tailoring done?
I think Hugo's kind of writing things down of this kind of the start, so of these interesting characters he met. So yeah, so I'm
Okay.
just kind of writing, kind of laughing while I do it.
All right. So this is turning into a novel for you, perhaps a
Yes,
short story of some
yes,
kind.
the kid with the pea
Okay.
coat and the rich lady.
All right. Aster, anything?
Aster he'd definitely get up early. He's used to making the rounds. Though as he gets up, he gets sad, knowing that once again he wakes up alone, something that he's not entirely used to yet. Knowing that he doesn't have rounds to make or people to check up on, he's not really sure what to do with himself. So to pass the time, he will make sure that his medical bag is in order. Perhaps feeling that given the group may become quite necessary.
Okay. All right. So then the order we'll move ahead. So later in the day, you have your tailoring stuff done. You come back together and off to the post office.
Yes.
Yes, yep.
Okay. I don't know what it's called in Sweden. We'll have to look it up, but that's what we're using.
We're all American. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Everyone has a post office. They obviously, yeah. So whatever is there,
I mean, they had a mail service
exactly,
of some kind.
exactly. So, all right. So you go to the place where these letters were mailed from. So this is, this the post's address. There's probably like a box here that this individual was using or Linnea was using
They're
to mail
literally
them out.
called post offices, by the way.
Excellent.
Sorry.
So yeah, what do you want to do? It's really it's not very busy because you came, because you did everything else. It's like their morning rush is probably gone and it's, they got the long, obviously people trying to get their driver's license renewed, but that's a separate line.
So, Lucario, what
Yes, sir.
brings you here?
Oh, well, like I said before, Hugo's writing. I'm very interested in the Vaesen, and I would love to learn more because when I was younger, I encountered maybe even just a glimpse, but it was awfully frightening. But it intrigued me, so I just got more curious and curious. And the more I read, the more interested I got.
Yes, but what brought you here?
Oh, a letter was sent to the church. It had my name on it. See,
Ah,
I mainly grew up in one of the churches. I never really knew my parents, so
I see. And the rest of us, I would imagine something similar, perhaps? And Frederick's going to look at Hugo. Given your writing,
Yes, I'm interested in another story. Get more secret behind these, and kind of even take that writing to the next level.
and Linnea got in touch with you.
She did. Yep. I don't know. She didn't really say why. I'm assuming she must have seen my writings and realized that I have seen these. But she really didn't go into why she got in contact with me.
I see. And no unusual occurrences, no observations of the unique, no mysteries that inspired your writings.
Um, no, just I just kind of, I guess with I would say with my writings, they're kind of nonfiction fiction, where the fact that I just take these, basins I see and then I put a story around them. But that's just always intrigued me to do that. But really nothing
Vaesons
I'll
you
see on them, but I just find them very intriguing.
Vaesons you see.
Basins that I've seen. Yep.
I see. Hmm. And Frederick's just going to nod and kind of, righty then, and clam up.
All right. So what would y'all like to do? So you're at the post office.
Yeah, Linnea's just going to
Eva?
Eva. Wow.
She's here.
Eva's going
Yay.
to just approach whomever. I very rarely go to the post office as an individual myself, but
Yeah, so how is Eva dressed here? Is she standing out as an aristocrat? Does she look um
she
perhaps more
looks
casual like a
like
gentry?
an aristocrat dressing down.
Okay.
So like she's very intentional with the way she dresses. So like she looks important, but she's not dressed like she is important. Enough to get the point across that I have money, you should just do what I say.
All right.
She's used to people just listening. Like when she took Lucario to get the new clothes, it wasn't like she was strong arm forcing him. She just speaks like you're going to listen and she expects you to listen.
Yes, Mom.
She speaks like someone used to getting her way.
Okay. So let's say, yeah, you go up, you see the lines and you say, okay, this was where people get information. And maybe you even skip past a few people and you just walk up to the counter. And the
Yeah.
the young man that's helping the customer is taken aback a bit when he sees you approach. It's like, ma'am, can I help you?
Yes, very sorry. I'm looking for a friend of mine. She is only I've only corresponded with her by letter, and I haven't had one from her recently. But I'm not sure where she actually lives. And so I was hoping you might tell me. Her letters come through here.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, sure. I'll take a look at the letter. So
And
he
she
looks
passed
at
one
it.
to him.
So you want to know what her real address is?
Yes.
I don't. He kind of glances around, and another person like who's also in there helping a line glances over at him like with a look of man, you're screwed, and goes back to helping. And he kind of hems and haws. He says, "Well, we're not really supposed to give that information out."
Oh, sorry. I forgot one thing, and she'll just sort of take like another letter, press some money into it, and slide that across to him as well.
Oh, all right. So let's do a roll here. Will be our first roll.
That
What
It
skill?
begins.
What combination of what skill would you like to attempt? This is kind of a
Uh, feel like that could be manipulation and empathy there. That feels right to me.
okay. Let's do it.
Roll for bribery.
Manipulation. So this is just flat, no bonus die.
Okay.
First roll. Ooh.
0 success. So he's
Oof.
he he clearly you probably put it, depending on how much cash you put in there.
Yeah.
He's a little bit stunned. And
How
you
does
think you
pushing work in
probably
this particular system?
oh, so the way pushing works is when you declare to push, you will take a condition, and the condition you take will be based on whether you're pushing with a physical attribute or a mental attribute. So pushing empathy would give you a mental condition, and you generally go up, so you would become angry. Um, and as you accumulate conditions, you get penalties for future rolls. And then eventually you hit a broken status, which is It's kind of like reducing your hit points to 0, so to speak.
Right.
So pushing is, is definitely useful. Would it be useful in this situation? Now, mental conditions are easy, like angry and exhausted. They're easy to, that will go away relatively quickly.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Mother.
Mm.
So
Oof.
I think
How?
you gave him the money and you gave him a lot, and it was so much that he didn't know what to do. Like he's never seen that much money.
Could,
He
It ran.
Yeah,
could
it was
Frederick
like,
step in at this point by any chance?
what's that?
Could Frederick step in at this point by any chance?
Yes.
As a chef, Frederick makes sure to carry at least one bottle of fine wine with him at all times. He's going to step up, just glance at Bev for permission, and he's going to kind of put his arm around the young man's shoulders and say, "When was the last time you took a break? Don't you think you should take a break? Just a few moments. Can you maybe come with me? I have so much to learn about this town."
Okay. So you're coming up to, you're talking to him. He's still a little shocked. And Eva, how does this how does this anger come out in you?
At first, it's just like very slight. She sees him like freezing up and just there's a sharp slap of her hand on the counter
Mm.
to try and get his attention right here.
Okay.
And then like Frederick steps in and she just kind of gives him like a very sharp do what you're gonna do motion head.
Okay. So an older gentleman, not elderly, but an older gentleman comes over and also working there at the post office, and he puts his arm on the young man's shoulder, and as he's looking at Eva, he reaches over and grabs the envelope and says, I'm sorry, he's new here. He doesn't understand some of the protocol. Let me help you." And he takes the envelope of money and puts it in his coat and tells the young man to go somewhere else. He says, "Now, uh, apologies, mistress. What is that you need?"
Yes, I am looking for the where a friend of mine actually lives. We've only had correspondence through letter, and I have not heard from her in a while.
Ah, and this is the name on this envelope?
Yes, that's the one.
Ah, good. Uh, yes, one moment. I will go check this for you. And you all standing there hear two workers muttering to each other, like, "We're not supposed to do that." So then he goes off, and the other young man goes and takes a break or something. He gets out of the situation.
While he takes a break, by any chance, would Frederick be able to try and weasel Linnea's whereabouts, or whether she's well known, or any other gossip, servant level gossip about the town out of him, using the bonus he gets from inspiration and manipulation with fine wine?
Oh, the individual helping.
Yeah, just sharing a bit of his beverage with the young man, saying, "Why don't?"
Not right now because he went into an area that you won't be able
Oh,
to get to him.
oh, back
So
office. Okay,
he went into like a records area, and so
poor
you
guy.
don't really know what he's doing, but you think he's intending to help. So you wait a few minutes, and then he comes out. He says, "Well, this is he's got it's like tapping his finger on his chin. This is interesting. I have a couple of two addresses here. Uh, one is a small place on this side of the city," and he writes down the address. But the other is, yeah, this is quite strange. The other is Castle Gillenkreutz. Apparently, we've had this Linnea Elfenclint resided at Castle Gillenkreutz about a decade ago. As far as I know, no one has lived there in quite some time.
I see.
Might be an interesting place to check out.
Well, thank you for.
Of course,
Your help.
please, anytime.
Have
So
a good day.
he goes about his business. So you have an
Yep.
address for a home, and then you have the address to the castle.
Well, let's check out the home first.
All right, whole gang.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right,
Unless anyone speaks up.
Hmm.
Linnea's the take charge kind.
Linnea just starts going. May
Yeah.
not even inform them. Okay.
Doesn't even tell us where she's going.
Oh dear, I believe she's leaving, guys. We must go.
Yeah, so she shares the information with all of you, but and you can all go together, or you can divvy up, however you want to do it.
Well, Hugo would be really interested in. There was a castle, right? But thinking of his writings, but obviously he would not go there by himself. So it'd be kind of what the group's doing. If everybody's going to the one, he would go with them.
Yes, the castle
right.
is the perhaps most interesting place, but it is best to rule out everything else.
That is fair.
All right. So you head to the address that they gave you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in a middle class region. It's not a very big home when you see it. It's well kept. And you approach the home, and I assume you knock at the door.
Yeah.
You do see that the box on the door, or whatever, is the last name is Elfenclint, which is Linnea's last name. At least it is on the letters. So this seems to be the right place. And you knock, and you knock, and you wait, and there's no answer.
I'm gonna Hugo would, I guess, maybe try to go around the house, see if we can see anything. Maybe on the other side or anything.
Sure. Yeah, you walk around the house, and it's pretty typical neighborhood. Doesn't seem to be anything odd, and there's definitely no, from the windows you can see in. There's no movement in there, and there's no light sources.
Is anybody good at breaking in?
Oh my.
Oh, she doesn't actually have any stealth skill. I thought she did.
I have 3 stealth skill.
I just have the precision. Of
Oh yeah,
3.
no. He asks. Okay, so I see what happens. He asks if anybody's any good at breaking in, and I think Linnea just sort of like half turns her head towards Lucario.
Just making some. Yeah.
Oh,
She has no
Me.
illusions of how those on the street must live.
oh, I guess I could give it a shot.
Please, if you could.
Okay. So do I just click on the?
Yeah, you should click on stealth, and then it should roll for you, or it'll pop up with
Okay.
any.
Oh wow!
Whoa!
Let's go!
Wow!
Oh, jeez.
Let's go!
Make that shit look easy.
Little
Lucario the kid.
Tiny
I
Tim
become invisible.
just crank that
Yeah.
lock open.
Cast a spell. And
Yeah, he actually makes it look easy.
did
He's
you
like,
say
"Oh."
you were?
Yeah, he just pops it,
He's a
pops the
magician.
lock.
A magician, are you?
I
Although I
kind of
don't think he's told us such in character.
I kind of walked up to the door and I just go, no, 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 and like you hear a click, and then it just I'm like, there you go. I guess that worked.
All right.
Okay.
So he turns excited. Who goes in?
If you don't
Hugo
mind.
will go in.
All right. And Linnea will step back and let him go first then.
Eva, you mean?
Eva. Oh my god, why do I got her name
That's
stuck in
probably my fault.
my head?
Starting to think it is Linnea.
Eva.
I know.
Yeah, what if we're looking for Eva this whole time?
All right. I would say on the journey over, we'll say your anger condition cleared.
Okay.
Eva.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, Hugo, you walk in. What do you want to give an observation as you walk in the door?
Yep, I can do that.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
2 success.
So you walk in, and just out of habit, you look down to see if any mail was pushed through the door, which there was. So you just scoop it up because you didn't, you don't want people treading on it. But that's when you notice something. You actually notice that one of the letters was from the mental asylum of Uppsala.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I already broke one law, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it.
Okay. So you open the letter. What are the rest of you doing? As you see him Hugo just stop and he starts opening mail.
I'd like to kind of
she-
poke around the house a little bit, see if we can find anything unusual, any unusual decorations or any
Okay.
indication as to who Linnea is.
So go ahead and give an observation roll as you move through. And let's
Yeah,
see.
Eva would also enter, but
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
And Aster?
Aster will. He's going to stand nearby. He's going to keep watch for our intrepid petty burglars.
Hey, Frederick has not taken anything yet.
You opened her mail.
Mail.
Lucario runs up to Hugo. Oh, Mr. Hugo, you shouldn't look into other people's mails.
Eva
That's a sin. You can't do that.
Eva steps in behind him and shuts the front door.
All right. So let's see. So Falcone, you had a success of 1. Aster, you can do an observation roll for just see if anyone has noticed what's going on here.
It's why Eva shut the door behind them.
And then
There's 10 men looking through the window.
all right, and Lucario, you're talking to Hugo. Aster, did you want excuse me. Do you want to do an observation roll? Kaiser?
Yes, let me do that. I think this will be my first roll. Hey, one
No,
success.
All right. So it looks clear. You think you're pretty confident no one, like, people see you there because it's Uppsala, so it's busy. But so far you haven't drawn attention of anything, suspiciously. But okay, so Hugo, you open the letter, and it's basically a bill for services rendered. So it appears Linnea. It's for Linnea that she has spent time at the asylum, and this is a bill that they sent her.
Excellent. Awesome. I assume, well, as a writer, that I have a notebook or something with me. I'm just going to write down the address, just in case if I don't know where the asylum is.
Okay.
Just in case we want to do some extra research there.
In case you
and
want to
see if we can
spend
get
some
any
time there.
information there. Yeah. Or we might end up there regardless. So just in case any of my friends end up there, I'll know where they are.
Okay.
After I walk up to him and I like snatch the bill. I'm like, you can't do that. And I start like grabbing all the mail and start like putting it back where it was. Like, come on, this
Oh,
isn't even our house.
I do search the due date, or is there a date on the? I don't know if they stamp the date that the mail would have been delivered, just to get an idea, maybe how long she's been gone from this,
Oh,
or how long the mail's been there.
yeah, it was delivered. It was delivered yesterday,
Okay.
and the date, the render, the services were rendered was actually um, for July, for the month of July, and there was what looks like about 16 days she was in the asylum.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what month were we? Was it August?
It's August 4th.
August.
Okay. Oh, okay. So she just probably got out and then sent us our letters. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
how long
wondered-
have we been in contact with her?
so you you would all have various degrees of time that you may have been in contact with her, but this definitely overlaps
Okay.
Okay.
when
That
the
makes
letters
sense.
were posted. Yeah.
Did Linnea ever contact Frederick individually, or is he just Eva's chef?
Well, that's up to you two, because Frederick does have the site, even though he's employed by Eva.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you could have very easily also been in correspondence, or you were referred to directly in the correspondence to Eva.
Hmm.
However you
I-
all want however you want that to play out.
That's really interesting. Ava, not Eva.
Mhm.
I think if you're cool with it, I think I would let you make that call.
I mean, it's whatever.
Okay. Hmm. Um.
Like Eva would have brought him anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he would have gotten his own individual letter. That's really interesting. Okay.
All right. So your observation, Frederick. So you had a success.
Hmm.
The place doesn't look real lived in, and like they're not home a lot. This is kind of what you get. There doesn't seem to be anything strange.
Just
You
layers of dust.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the only thing that could be strange is just the absence of photos and memorabilia. It's almost like a bed and breakfast feel, like it's neutral to whoever's there. It doesn't feel like a home.
Um, I think Frederick is going to return to Eva and just very quietly relay this to her. Just have you noticed? Just kind of as a um, mistress, just so you're aware, have you noticed there are no pictures here? There are no mementos. There is nothing personal about this home. It's as if nobody lives here.
No wonder I felt so comfortable. How like dirty is it? Is it like dusty, like unmaintained? Nobody cleans this place. Levels of dust, or does
Oh
it
no,
look
it
like
looks
maybe
it's
somebody's
maintained. Someone
maintained it? Okay.
maintains it.
Is
Okay.
it
For
Lucario
sure.
dirty or
Yeah.
So it looks like any one of Eva's homes. It's cleaned, but not actively lived in much.
Yeah,
It's just on a smaller
exactly.
scale.
Right. And if she doesn't have her own personalized effects, which she probably has so many homes, she doesn't, right? Other
Yeah.
than what would be her main homes, I guess.
Only what she carries with her, really.
Yeah.
She does not despite her upbringing, she's not a very material person.
So, Kaiser, while you're standing outside, just people watching, you see an elderly man comes. He stops at the end of the walkway to the house, and he has his cane, and he's a little hunched over, so he's definitely in his 70s or 80s, and just looks up at you and, "You a doctor?"
Why, yes, sir, I am. How may I help you?
"Oh, you figured out what's wrong with her yet?"
I'm afraid not. It's a complicated situation. I've only recently been introduced to the case at all. I am sure that you have something that you believe the truth, though.
Well, they say to, well, he comes walking towards you and with his cane. It takes him a little bit. And you patiently wait for him to get up to the steps. Well, they try to. Well, do you work at the asylum?
No, not directly. However, I have friends who will consult me and bring me in from correspondence, and I do my best to help in the communities.
Ah, good. Well, they there's just all those rumors. They say that the asylum tries to scare what you see out of you. Uh, they say she's crazy. I don't think she's crazy. I've heard the noises too.
The noises.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like rustling of leaves where there ain't no trees or no wind. The
Hmm,
breaking of branches.
I see.
It's like someone, I don't, like them loggers when something's sawing through a tree. You hear that kind of a sound.
I understand. You see, in correspondence, all I had heard was auditory hallucination. I didn't have any specific details.
It's auditory hallucination, huh? Well, I hope you fix her, doctor. She's a nice woman. I tell her she doesn't have to go there, but she insists. She just feels more comfortable there. I mean, normally people try to get out of there, but she's always going. And he keeps mumbling about how he can't believe she goes there on her own, and as he's walking away.
The
You
power of
broke him.
lies.
I've
Uh,
done it once again. I've deceived the elderly.
yeah. Well, that's certainly something that he will take into account. Before the old man leaves, he will ask him one question. Ah, yes. When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, she was here. Let's see. Oh yeah, Sunday. Sunday, yeah. She was, sitting out on the porch, and I waved. And then I don't know. I'm guessing maybe she went back Sunday night. She
I see.
normally goes at night. I don't think she likes sleeping here.
I understand. I know what it is like to wake up alone when you're not used to it. And that's not lying. Um, yeah, and he'll thank the man for his help. What day is it?
It is Wednesday, August 4th.
Okay, so she left a few days ago. Okay.
He nods and he starts, walking and he stops. Oh yeah. Watch out for the nurse. Yeah, Nurse Soderberg. She's always with. He kind of gives a shiver. And he turns and starts walking again.
Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. I'll see what I can do for the madam. And he'll wave him goodbye and probably write down a few notes on things to follow up with the rest of the group when they get back out.
All right. So the group inside. Hugo thoroughly searches the mail. Lucario's preaching morality to him, and
After
Frederick.
he's the one that opened the door.
Yes, well, that's it. Yeah.
I made a quiet little prayer as I was unlocking the door, like, oh, please forgive me. Oh, please forgive me for this.
Of course you did.
All right. So what next would you like to do in the house?
In the house, well, Hugo's going to go to the. If they can find the kitchen and see maybe if there's any more wine or any alcohol in there.
All right.
No more drinking. You've had enough today.
Hugo wanders off to the kitchen.
Hugo, it's still early, and let's not steal from our acquaintance.
And you had enough already. No more.
Oh, there's never too much.
Dear, when you have a few more decades under your belt, you'll understand that you're wrong.
A real group full of reprobates we are.
But it is best we be on our way. Obviously, she is not here.
All
And I-
right. So Hugo
Very well.
sees wine. Do you? Okay. You give in to Eva and leave.
I will leave it there. I kind of hesitate for a moment and just sit there and stare at it, and then just shake my head and walk away.
Is it good wine?
But I guess that yes. What level of wine are we talking about?
Well, Hugo would drink it. Frederick would. He probably wouldn't let Eva have it.
Ah, okay. Then no, it's not good.
Not worth my time.
You know what? I think I'll roll if I'm going to. So what would I roll if I can control myself, or if I'm going to just go and try to grab it and stick it under my jacket?
Um,
That vigilance.
well,
Oh,
Yes,
would
that'd
you
be
could use
vigilance.
vigilance.
All right. Well, let's do that. I'll see if I can let the dice decide.
Eva could also use inspiration to try to, or
Yep.
manipulation.
Would Frederick be able to use observation to tell if he's sneaking it under his jacket?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. If he doesn't do a stealth roll, you won't need to. But
He's mostly rolling to see if he resists.
Well, I'm going to roll first to see if I'm. Oh, good grief! I am.
Hey,
So
so
my
was
past
that your?
vigilance,
All right. So you aren't compelled out of control. You have
Okay.
control of your actions.
So I just kind of stare at it. It's like, oh, that is some good looking wine there. And then just shake my head and walk away.
Okay. Okay.
Frederick's going to give him a quiet pat on the back as.
All right. So the group leaves the home.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
and be sure to lock up behind us.
When Frederick's patting on the back, probably tell me that wine there is not worth stealing. I'll let you know when there's wine worth stealing.
You would be correct. That wine is not worth stealing. And Frederick's going to shudder a little bit when he mentions that wine.
All right.
Yeah, when they come on out, Astra will say, "Well, she's been gone since Sunday."
believe our next stop should be the asylum.
Yes.
It's likely that's where she has gone, given the letter.
Yes, there's also a
Sounds-
witness pointing her in that very same direction.
She spent half the month last month there.
All
All
right,
right.
so we'll head towards the asylum.
Off to the asylum. Okay. So you get there. It's getting late in the day. You haven't had lunch, so you all may or may not be grumpy. But you get there around 4 o'clock. And you walk in. It's quite a busy place. There's a lot of people. There's people in the waiting room. There's people being moved around. And so from what you can tell, that this is kind of like, it operates more like a hospital rather than just a prison where they don't let people out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Okay.
you can actually check yourself in, much like a hospital. So you go in and
Find
you
a
see,
nurse.
yeah, there's a receptionist area.
Oh, I was warned to avoid the nurse.
What nurse is that?
Excuse me.
Uh,
She's literally approaching the desk probably as he's saying that to talk to the nurse.
the name the man said, it sounded like Soderbergh,
Hmm.
Nurse Soderbergh.
The name tag on the nurse said Soderbergh. Oh. Oh no.
What
Okay.
an unhappy coincidence.
So you walk up to the counter. Eva, the receptionist, sees you. She definitely assesses your attire and your status and says, yes, ma'am, may I help you?
Yes, I'm here to visit a friend of mine, Linnea. Ooh, I can't remember the last name, out of character. Linnea Elfclint.
Yes, let me check. She goes, is she a resident here or just checked in?
Checked in, I believe. I know she spends much of her time here.
So she goes through it. And she's, uh, I'm sorry, she's not taking visitors here. It's very specific. Would you like to leave a message for her?
I walk up to the nurse and I go, oh please, we've been waiting all day to meet her. We were just supposed to have a meeting with her just the other night, but she never showed up. We're very worried. Could you please? We're very close friends.
The other night, she's been here. She's been here for a while. I'm sorry, but perhaps, I don't know, perhaps she got ill and came in.
Is there
Perhaps. What is the letter on her, the note on her?
Oh, it's just a note here, very specific, says no visitors.
Do you know, did that come from her directly?
I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know that. I just have to go by the chart.
Well, could you please tell her that
Hugo's trying to get a word in.
Can,
And Eva's going off on her. Go ahead.
that Eva came calling, asking after her health?
Oh, absolutely. She writes it down.
Hugo's going to walk up to the desk. Is there like, I mean, something on, I don't know if they had pencils or whatever, something on the desk I'm going to kind of bump into accidentally to knock onto the ground.
Okay.
Be like, oh, I'm sorry. Try to, hopefully she'll go down for it and can try to get a quick peek, maybe see a room number or something.
He's looking for wine,
all
guys.
right.
Stop him.
Yeah. I found the wine. Never mind.
Okay.
And they're thinking, did you get the room number? No, but I saw a glass of wine down there.
Okay, so you're trying to knock
Or like
something
maybe a
off
flask of
to get it
Get
to
liquor.
her-
do something.
Yeah, to get her to go
Okay.
to pick it up.
So you could
and see
do
if
like
I can
why don't you do a precision roll to see if you can't make
precision.
whatever you
Oh,
knock to the floor do what you want it to do.
okay, lovely. All right. I'm not very precise.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we say, I'm a
Ugh.
doctor.
All right. So I'm going to.
Do you want me to distract? I can distract
You
her.
want to push it?
I'm going to try to push it. So I just roll it again, and then I'm exhausted. Is that the case?
Um. Yeah, you would take a if you want to push a physical roll, you will take a physical condition.
Okay. All right. Let's try it. Ugh. Well, that tells you the type of shape I'm in. I go run in the desk, and I'm like keeled over, exhausted. Oh, I'm just so tired. Like I
Yeah,
even knocked
so
the nail on the
you
floor.
so you go up there and you knock down, her writing utensils off, but in your zeal to overact, you actually hit your head on the counter
Oh
and it
dear.
almost knocks you back. So you're stumbling back and she's like, "Oh my." And "Are you okay?"
We told you to take it easy on the wine,
That's
dear.
yeah. Yes, I've had too much. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so
Hmm.
you walk back, yeah, rubbing your head from that impact. Okay, so what would you
Well, we still have the castle to investigate, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Perhaps she left something for us there. Or
we
we
can
try again
also
tomorrow.
we can also just tell her that that Lindquist is a doctor himself. Try and see if we can convince her that way. Because
Mhm.
that's just not even a lie.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we can convince her to go tell her that we are here, and see if.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think that makes sense. Yeah. Doctor might have better luck than us.
Yeah. Aster will go ahead and go on up to the desk and say, "Hi, I am Dr. Lindquist. I am interested in seeing your patient. Oh my gosh, what is her name?
Oh,
Linnea.
Linnea
Your
Elfquin.
patient Linnea.
Yep.
She has been in correspondence with me over the past. How long has it been? Months?
Yeah.
She's been in correspondence with me over the past month, and I do worry for her physical health in addition to her mental health.
Oh, Dr. Lindquist. Well, yes, Linnea gets quite the attention. I will let the doctor know you're here. And she gets up and goes to tell some doctor that you're here.
All right.
So
Is
she's
anybody
not
gonna,
at her desk.
anybody going to try to look?
Yeah.
I'm still holding my head.
Linnea is going to just lean against the desk as nonchalantly as possible.
Okay.
If I look at it, room 4 might look like 44. So
Yeah. All right.
Good eye on the
Uh,
room number.
the paper she left is there, and you see what room she's in. So she's in 201.
All right. 201.
okay. Um, do we wait or do we try to sneak?
Yeah, you're like, well, now
Oh,
what?
no.
I think perhaps a more subtle path may be a better option. Why commit more crimes when we could simply follow the law as is?
My thinking exactly. I wouldn't want to make anyone angry here, and that they must work so hard.
We could see if we could get someone committed, perhaps, or
Is that up for a vote?
an alcohol addiction.
Man, that is a pointed remark.
Yeah. ooh.
Hmm.
I will make sure to write in my next book about you.
I'm sure you will. Be sure to send me a signed copy.
I'm sure it will. be.
Definitely will. So
So Aster,
I
you
think
you know that that being self check-in here, or especially addiction check-in, could lead to shock therapy, bleeding, and other strange uh, treatments.
I mean, once again, it raises the question of can we put that to a vote?
so. Though Hugo will be a little interested because again, um, for his writings, he could get some more information there. Shock therapy doesn't sound very exciting though.
Such a writer.
Now maybe they can go the old, where if you cat smoking, they make you smoke a pack thing. Maybe they give me a lot of alcohol.
Yeah,
to
let's
try
just give
to,
him alcohol poisoning to get him to quit.
Hugo might go for that.
Well-known cure.
It would be a marvelous experience.
They're not going to use leeches or
Terrible.
something, hopefully.
They would.
Are you in need of leeches?
So as you're debating this, a doctor comes back with the receptionist.
Hello, doctor.
Yes, Dr. Lundquist, is it?
Lindquist.
Dr.
close enough.
Lindquist. Dr. Matson, pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well.
Now, the receptionist tells me you're here for Linnea.
I am afraid this is so.
And how can I be of service to you, Doctor?
Well, you see, am requesting just to see her. We have been in correspondence for a time, and I do grow concerned for her physical health, just as you are caring for her mental health. So must the healthy body reflect a healthy mind.
Yes. Well, I can share a little bit of details with you, I guess, if you are indeed. Are you a friend, or is she under her employ?
More a friend. We are in a regular correspondence.
Ah, very good. Come. And he just motions for you to follow him.
Oh,
Just you.
excuse me, sir, but I'm a man of God, and I have a feeling that she would just the words of the Lord would comfort her in this hard time. So I plead you, please let me come with.
He looks at you, Aster, like, what?
I'm considering if Aster just says, I've never seen this man before in my life.
What? What?
Poor Tiny Tim.
No,
Oh.
he'll say, don't mind him. He is another friend, I suppose, also in correspondence.
Ah, very good. No, I'm afraid not. I'm going to be sharing medical information, and it must be kept between doctors.
Oh, well, there's no worries. I would never tell a soul. I never lie. That would go against the word of the Lord.
Just broken a house.
Yes, indeed. But no, I'm sorry.
I don't talk
Now,
about that.
Dr. Lindquist. So he takes you off, and they actually walk off towards what's probably Linnea's area that she's in.
I mean, if they follow, Lindquist certainly won't comment upon that fact.
Should I sneak? Should I
Well, you-
sneakily follow behind?
Well, you can try to avoid Dr. Matson from seeing you, but there's so many people in there, someone will see you.
I'll put my hood up, my cloak.
That's not suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
All right, so they walk off in, well, I guess Eva and Frederick, you see Lucario kind of debating if he's going to follow them or not as the two doctors are walking down the hall.
Frederick is going to put his hand on young Lucario's shoulder and say, "Young man, sometimes good judgment is the better part of valor."
Oh, but I have such a strong feeling that I have to go. There's something deep inside me that's telling me that I have to be there.
Well,
That, my
Okay.
dear friend, is inexperience.
Oh.
I thought she was
we
going to say
all
puberty.
make mistakes, young one.
All right, so Lucario's deciding what to do, and Matson begins, just kind of talking through some of the things Linnea has been here for us. Primarily it's delusions. She claims to hear things and see things, and we've treated her quite regularly. And to be honest, I don't think she's dangerous at all, which is quite sad. She's just been here too much, and I just wonder if she's not letting go of something, or maybe she makes these delusions up just so she doesn't have to be out there in the real world.
I see. Does she have a humeric imbalance, perhaps?
Perhaps. Sometimes it's hard to get information out of her. She'll be fine for one day, and then the next day she's mostly incoherent. She babbles about strange things. She can't seem to hold a conversation together. And then other days she's fine. She's- She
I
has a very
see.
sharp mind when she's here. She's, there's still quite the woman in there, but yeah, the delusions just keep creeping in. She lived in that castle for decades.
Yes, I've heard about that. That is, I suppose, a note for concern.
Yes, I believe the castle may be somehow significant to this delusions that she falls under. If I, hmm, I wish I knew more of what happened there, because there's something she's perhaps hiding from.
Yes, I see. I may investigate this more. She's a friend. I do hope for her continued health. So I will have to investigate this further. Are you sure that I cannot come and see her?
Well, let's just walk there and see if she's awake.
You
So,
have my thanks.
he takes you there, and you get to the room. Um, you go upstairs, so you no longer even see the group as they're waiting for you at the lobby area. Um, and you get to her room. The door is open, and you see an elderly woman laying in bed, and there's a nurse in there taking, just kind of straightening things up. And then she turns to see the two of you at the door, and she kind of stands up, almost a little surprised. And Dr. Matson says, ah, Nurse Sonderberg, once again, I find you in the area where you don't belong. Why do you insist on bothering this Poor woman. Nurse gets a scowl on her face. She says, I've just grown attached to her is all, Doctor. Who is this? And Matson says, Nurse. Show some respect to Dr. Lindquist. She doesn't show you any respect. She kind of scowls at you.
Yeah, no, I figured not. Well, it is nice to meet you, nurse. I am Dr. Lindquist. I am a sometimes associate of our patient here.
Associate, huh? How so? And Dr. Matz, Nurse Sonderberg, that's quite enough. You will leave here or you will lose your job. So the nurse, she looks really agitated. And she says, well, Linnea is asleep, so I'd greatly appreciate you not waking her. And Matson says one more time, that's quite enough. We are the doctors and you are not. Please leave. So she leaves. I apologize, Dr. Lindquist. My staff here is very professional, but for some reason that nurse just insists on harassing poor Linnea.
I see. That is not good for either party, I don't assume.
No, I quite agree.
Yes. All I can hope is that it is from a good place.
Well, she is asleep, and I say perhaps you could come back at another time and we could schedule an appointment with her, and you'll have time to interview and see how she's doing.
Yes, I might quite like that.
Ah, very good. I have patients to attend to, and I trust you can see your way out.
Yes, and he will give the doctor some information on where he is staying in town. So,
Okay.
you know, if things progress differently, you can find me at this location and call me, or
Oh,
the
yes.
equivalent of calling me.
Absolutely. Please leave your contact information with the receptionist, and I will make sure we reach out to you. He walks away, and you hear him muddle like, "Where are those leeches?" All right, so group, you're you're hanging out, and just waiting. Not much is going on.
I'm like nervously like tapping my foot.
Okay.
I'm like, I guys, I kind of like wait, and I just kind of like look to see if anyone's looking. I kind of like quickly pull up my hood.
See if your own group isn't looking.
Yes.
All right. So let's try a stealth check to
Okay.
at least avoid your group and maybe the receptionist.
Okay.
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 So you pull your hood up. You go to slip away. None of you actually. He actually sneaks out underneath your watch.
And I whisper to myself like, I have to go and see her. I have to.
So just as you're walking in that direction where the doctors went, and this nurse almost knocks you down as she storms past you.
Oh.
She looks
I'm
angry.
terribly sorry. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Please forgive me.
She just kind of glances back and she storms up to the receptionist. You all see this too. And she slams her hand on the desk. She says, "Who is Dr. Lindquist?" And the receptionist says, she's like, "Maria, calm down. It's just a visiting doctor. You know how many visitors Linnea gets? It's not normal. That is why it says no visitors."
Are you the one that denies her visitors then?
She looks back at you with a scowl And then back to the receptionist. She's like, yeah, more visitors. She's like, look, Maria, I know you care for her, but she's not your patient. And so the nurse, she storms off. She's very unhappy right now.
I
Does
keep going.
Linnea get a lot of visitors?
Do you ask the receptionist?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she does.
Would you mind if we ask, what was that nurse's last name?
Oh, that's Sonderberg.
Ah, I see. Thank you.
I hear she has a reputation
Hmm?
among
Oh,
patients, perhaps.
well, among patients, they like her. She's actually a very kind woman, but boy, she's very protective of Linnea.
Oh, so
Well, just what you saw. Anyway, I don't want to get into the patient history, but if you want to see Linnea, just make sure Sonderberg's not on duty. She says, she kind of mutters that as she goes back to her paperwork.
I keep going. I like get up and I keep walking towards.
All right, so you go to the stairs where you know they went.
Mhm.
And you know what room she's in, so. All right, so you go up the steps and you come out. Just as you're coming out, Aster is walking back and you see him. Aster, you see the hooded Lucario come out the door at the top of the steps.
He'll sigh loudly. And what are you doing here?
Oh, I couldn't help it. I had to go and see her. I don't know what it is. Could you could you please lead me to her room? It won't be long, promise.
I cannot know, given that I do not know where it is. Actually, wait. Did he lead me to her room?
Oh yeah,
Or...
yeah, you saw her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You actually saw her sleeping, yeah.
Well, it. Then
And you know
he
it's
will
201.
not say that he doesn't know where it is.
Okay.
He'll say, well, it's right here. She's asleep. I cannot recommend that you go in and wake her.
Oh, no, I won't wake her. I just wanted to give her a blessing, is all.
He'll squint at him.
Okay. So do you proceed with your?
I do.
Okay. So you go in there,
And then
and yeah, there's a woman in there. She's sound asleep. Um, Let me see here. So that is who you should see her.
okay. All right. And then I walk up and I put my hand on her forehead, and then I use my talent, medium, to
Okay.
see her future.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look that up. So let's look up a talent. So talents are your special talents, abilities that each archetype has talents available to them that are not available to other archetypes. So it's medium. So you're going to use an observation.
Okay.
Now it says to perform a seance where you predict a person's future and contact the dead. An extra success. So you're not going to have, well, you could try to do a seance, but that's going to
Yeah.
require a setup. But you want to just try to make some type of connection to her. Is that
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? So why don't you just try an observation roll?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you see, at first there's nothing, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like a gray fog. Then it's like almost like the room gets foggy, and then it's misty, and you're trying to focus and trying to see through it, and as you just happen to shift around a little bit, like shifting your feet, and you hear the crunching of leaves
Mm.
under your feet, and then you hear uh, something that sounds like sawing,
Hmm.
and then it snaps out and everything's gone.
Huh. And then afterwards, I go, "May God be with you," and I walk out the room.
Okay. All right. So you eventually all Aster, you joined the group first, unless you were waiting for him at the door. Not sure if you were watching that or if you just left. Kaiser.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Not sure if did Aster watch at the door or did he leave and go back to
He
the group?
would have been around to watch, make sure that Lucario didn't do anything weird in there.
Okay.
Saw that he did, but that it was not the harmful kind of weird.
It was
Um,
weird but not scary. Okay.
yeah, she's not gonna fall over dead. Probably.
Well, she's already laying down.
She's not gonna continue laying down and then be dead. And he'll keep watch for making sure that particularly troublesome nurse does not return while he is in there.
Okay. All right. So he's eventually done.
And I kind of walk out with like kind of like almost like not like really noticeable, but kind of like a cold sweat
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of like deterred me a little bit, a little freaked out, confused.
And are you all right?
Oh, yes, yes. I'll be quite all right. No need to worry. I made sure I gave her the Lord's blessing. I fear something mighty bad might happen to her. But maybe it's
And
just my own thoughts. I don't know.
hmm, and that's why you're in a cold sweat.
Oh, am I? Oh, it's. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. Allergies, you know? Pretty bad around this time.
Allergy to what? We're indoors.
Maybe it's this cloak. I mean, I've never, I've never worn any other type of clothing before. It's brand new to me. And I just kind of just shuffle away, trying to just deter from the conversation.
He'll rub his nose and sort of gesture to keep on going. Come on, let's go. Until they are back with the rest of the group.
All right. So group, the angry nurse left. You asked who it was, and the receptionist went back to her thing. Do you just now wait for the return of your group?
Um, now in the waiting room, are there like bench seating or is it like seats or?
Yeah, they would probably have, benches
Okay, because
for
Hugo's
people.
just kind of laying down
Yeah,
with his hands up on his head.
yeah. Hugo's sprawled out on a bench, and there's
Yep.
people sitting on the other side of the room, like staring at him because they're all crammed into one bench.
Yeah.
While he's resting on one. Okay. So you two come back to the group. You see Hugo laying there on the bench. Eva and Frederick are Just hanging out?
I mean, I would imagine so.
Yeah, she'd just be standing there waiting.
Okay. All right. So do you relay them what part of the conversation you had and what part of your vision do you relay, if any?
I think I keep the vision to myself
Okay.
because part of me doesn't really understand how I saw that vision and is kind of perplexed almost. So I'm kind of keeping it to myself to think over on what I saw, and I don't want to frighten the other people of the other members of the group.
Okay. All right, group.
Well, shall we discuss the day over dinner?
Indeed.
I think that sounds good.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait to eat some more delicious food.
How many nights were like prepaid for the hotels? Whatever, for the rooms.
Just one.
Yep. So we'll retire too. We'll Linnea. Oh my god, Eva. Eva will basically just lead them to the home that she keeps here.
Okay. All right. So you all go to Eva's home and
Which is
debrief.
like is big enough to house like an entire extended family. You know, this time their multi-generational households wouldn't be a weird thing, and like she's got enough houses for like an entire 3 generations. And then there's just kind of, I guess, I'm an unspoken
Yeah.
that he cooks.
Frederick's cooking. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So you all debrief for the day. Is there any, I guess before moving to the next day, is there any discussions or anything you all want to have at dinner?
Would Frederick be cooking?
Yeah.
I don't keep any other cooks on staff.
Can I make a point that tonight's dinner is going to be much better than the one at the restaurant?
All right.
The food's so good that Lucario's crying as he eats. This is the best I've ever had my whole life.
Don't add salt to the meal, boy. It's good enough on its own.
Oh, my apologies.
All right. So I'll let you all, we're coming up on, well, we're just past 2-hour mark. So we can go into the next day. We can call it here and let you all decide since we got a little bit later start today.
I'm sorry.
It happens.
It happens.
I've had fun so far.
Yeah, I'm having fun.
All right, keep going.
Yep.
We can go
I-
through the,
Yeah.
we got one
Yeah.
more segment to our intro. So,
Yeah, let's get that done.
all right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
So, I guess the one thing Hugo would be talking about is what do you think was up with that nurse? Sounds very protective of Lene. Do you think she's had similar encounters or sights or anything like that?
She was such a rude lady too. Bumped right into me.
Or did you bump into her?
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but still, she didn't help me up when I fell.
She did seem rather put out that Linnea had visitors at all.
She did.
Difficult to tell whether or not her intentions were good or not.
She struck me as hostile, not just upset, but actively hostile.
Yes.
But that hostility could simply come from the protectiveness that she shows over Linnea.
Could be.
Yep.
If she believes Linnea to be in danger, I believe there was mention of her possibly hiding from something,
Hmm.
then that would make sense.
Yep.
Hmm.
Anyway,
What-
I believe we shall learn more shortly.
I would imagine so.
Good.
We're investigating the castle tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, I am excited about that. Now, I assume at this meal we have wine or some type of.
Oh, yes, we have wine.
So
Pretty
when
good
Hugo
wine,
takes
actually.
a taste of that, it's like, wow.
He's
You've
gonna.
probably sent out for a few more bottles.
Yeah.
Fred deliberately served wine that complemented the meal.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Hugo looks at his glass. Where have you been my whole life?
I feel like this is something of a theme.
A little bit, as a writer, it gets
Yeah.
get
Aren't they
kind
all
of lonely
sloshes?
and go out and.
All right. So what is the group's plan?
How far is the castle?
The castle is actually fairly close to the hotel you are staying in.
Okay.
My thought is to get somewhat of an early start, because if it's a large place, I don't think we want to be there, if it gets too late. So getting there early would make sense.
Yeah.
Well, the sun's up at like 5 a.m. So in Sweden at this time.
Oh.
We lost someone.
Yeah, I lost Falcone.
No.
Oh, and we're
All right,
back.
do this.
So we you had dinner, you relaxed, you recovered, you probably shared information with each other. And then Lucariel kept his brief vision to himself. And I think everything else is pretty much shared. If there's anything specific your characters observed or held back, you can let the group know. But
I think Frederick might be overly proud at dinner a little bit. He'll be, as he carries each dish out, he'll be, explaining and talking about it. And oh, yes, this is pheasant from this region. And oh, this is the finest venison. And blah, 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 blah.
nice. All
He's
right.
going to be in and out of the room. He's not going to be there for a chunk of it. So,
All right. So he's proud of his cooking. And it is a good meal. He's definitely there's a reason he's kept as a personal chef. All right. So the next day, what is your plan? I know Hugo said get up early. Was it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
is he
no, I
still
figure.
hungover?
get up early, go to the castle, right?
Yeah, they'd
Yeah.
be getting up early, breakfast, and then castle.
Good.
All right.
Again, with the pride and the, oh, these are the best eggs from blah, blah, and whatever. Yeah.
Free range chickens
Yeah, there we go.
running
There we
around
go.
in the backyard.
Oh, you can
Isn't
be.
that all that exists? Well, no, 18. We're right in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. Never mind.
Oh, you can be Bridget who laid these eggs. She's my pride and joy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pre-GMOs, so
See, there you go.
all right. So you head to the castle.
Definitely bringing my dog, though. I need to name them.
Yeah.
I am
I got my dog as well.
after the encounter from yesterday at the asylum. I am absolutely packing my revolver to this one.
No,
Things
that's
are
a good
getting a
idea.
little
It
more.
has. It
Yep.
is supposed to be like abandoned, right? Like there hasn't.
Yeah.
That's why I said supposed to be, and this is more asking Nate as GM.
Oh, what's the question?
It's the castle. It's like supposedly abandoned, right? So we're not
Yeah.
expecting people there.
Yeah, like anyone who's mentioned it is like surprised that.
So
And well, you know of it. Like you would know
Yeah.
this castle. No one lives there. This castle's abandoned.
I think Eva's dressed a bit more. Well, it's probably basically her hunting garb. So she's got,
Do any of us have any armor of any sort?
Nope.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna
Nope.
say I think we just started with like a weapon and then a couple of pieces of wow, profession specific gear. That took me a while.
Some people didn't even have a weapon. It depends
I
on what
don't-
they rolled on the life
Yeah.
events.
Oh yeah.
I
I
have a
don't have a
lamp.
gun.
And then what they chose.
All right. So you head to the castle.
All right.
Yeah, Eva definitely has her rifle, and like I said, she's dressed in like her hunting gear. So basically just not cloth, but like leather.
Is there any chance she keeps a stock of rifles at the castle?
I don't know if Nate would let you get away with that.
Nate,
At oh, you mean does Eva have an arsenal at the house?
well, does like hunting rifles? You know, like when you go hunting, does she keep a stock of multiple rifles?
So she could definitely afford that. Basically with her level of wealth, you can acquire most items easily. So you could just go buy a rifle if you wanted to.
Good lord. Okay. Goodness.
Yeah,
just
she probably doesn't keep like a stock of them. Like she has her rifle, and like there might be. It'd probably be more like a handgun kept in the house, and that's just for whoever she has care taking the house while she's gone. That way, if anybody breaks in, it's a big place. It might be, they've got protection.
so
Is there anything else that we want to bring with us that might be at the estate? Sorry, I'm looking through the equipment list right now, and there are a couple of things catching my eye, like crowbar for getting in any locked doors to the abandoned place, or maybe a map book, or a rope, things like that.
Yeah, so the way it works is you have a resource score, and that score determines your capital, and the capital is a number that exists during the course of a mystery,
Okay.
and so you can spend that capital on gear,
Oh.
and so I think most of you have some level of capital, with Eva having a significant amount of capital.
Yeah, it's I know I have 4 resources. Oh no, it says 0 capital with 4 resources.
Okay,
So
so
never mind.
you don't have capital just to go acquire things during a mystery. It's something that you have to do in preparation time.
Sure. Sounds.
But Eva does have capital, and I
Do
think yes. So the modifier from resources at 8.
Aha. Okay, capital is 12.
You would have 12.
You have 2 capital. If you have 4 resources.
Oh.
Oh, how much?
It's
There's a-
3. Resource level 3 has 1 capital.
Sorry, I unplugged my headphones.
Oh no worries. No, it's I don't remember setting up the capital.
The table's on 73. I didn't either, so.
Yeah, because it comes
Okay.
into it's kind of like a reset every mystery.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
So 12 capital, Jesus.
Yeah, so the filthy rich are
Filthy rich.
yeah,
I was
filthy
gonna
rich.
say you kind of
Yes. So Eva basically gave the person at the post office like 1 capital worth of cash, just
Yeah.
something that they just would have taken them months to earn,
Ooh.
which wasn't even 10% of her stash that she has on her.
Yeah, Aster
She-
would like to buy a revolver. That
yeah,
is
Eva is it's a banana. What does it cost? $10? Type of rich.
Oh no.
She's just out of touch.
That's something else.
Yeah, so
She's
you
never had to stop and actually think about how much the things
so the number of
cost.
capital you have is the availability of the item is how much it costs. So a rope
And your
ladder,
resources determines how high availability you can even get.
exactly.
so a revolver is availability 4, so I would have to get it between adventures because my capital is 2.
You would have to, so you can still acquire a revolver during every mystery will have a preparation phase where you pull
Oh wait,
your resources together and
Oh, that's right.
wait, each player rolls the number of dice indicated by the character's resources value. The number of successes is used to purchase equipment.
yeah, in your preparation.
Ah.
That's interesting.
See, things don't they don't persist with you. It's the way they do economy is not cash and wealth, accruing cash and wealth. It's just based on
So
it's
are
a
there
little strange still learning that system, but
so I'm looking at, like, I have opera glasses, right? As part of my gear. And it gives me a bonus of 1 to use vigilance from a distance. But I'm looking at binoculars, which apparently do the bonus of 2. I see. Never mind.
Hmm.
That's the difference. I was like, this are the exact same thing. Okay. I see.
Yeah. Also, Eva could just buy a cannon.
just
That
roll it,
is
just roll it into the courtyard, and I don't even have to knock.
that is something else.
Literally storming the castle. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So what's the plan?
Think go to the castle
There's some hesitation, like this is the boss fight. We need to gear up, or what is?
that's kind of what it's feeling like.
I feel less like boss fight, more caution necessary, because as it is abandoned, it feels like prime location for a Vaesen to set up.
Yeah.
It just feels like, places abandoned by humanity seems to be there, or is likely where you're more likely to run into them. And also it being where Linnea used to be, and if she is indeed hiding from something, there's just a whole lot of reason to be cautious going in. So like Eva's got her, her rifle, her hunting leathers on, her dog at her heel.
Okay.
Not taking this lightly.
All right. And the rest of you are.
I guess I could look at buying something, maybe.
Do we have any light sources?
That is an excellent question, my friend.
I do. I have a hurricane lamp.
I was about to ask if there were any light sources in this game.
Yeah. I think that, if not everyone's armed, that means most of you will run away while those few individuals are fighting.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can
but yeah.
buy a bow.
Okay, so I have 2 capital. So I roll dice to see if I'm able to buy things with either of that capital.
Well, you can during preparation. So preparation is like a several day thing that you do in
Oh,
prepping for a
so-
mystery.
okay. So not now. So now
So
it's
we're
like,
kind of in a we're kind of in a mystery mode where you wouldn't
gotcha.
use
Okay.
your resource.
Okay.
So now it's like just don't bother. I mean, it's after we're yeah.
Yeah, and
If you
that's
need something for this,
coming.
let me know.
Yeah, so right now you have to
Yeah.
rely on Eva's capital effectively.
I
So
think a hurricane lamp and a crowbar both sound like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one.
Okay, cool.
I have a hurricane lamp, so
so how do we know our capital again?
There's a chart on page
Mm-hmm.
73 where it lists resources, living standards, bonus, and then the capital. So what's your resources?
5.
You have 3 capital,
Okay.
and you are middle class.
my
Dude,
resource is
we
3.
are
What's that?
Struggling. You have
Struggling.
1 capital.
I told you guys I'm poor.
Is there a college
No,
student
you're
in
1
that?
step above poor.
Oh,
At least you're not destitute.
That's a -1 capital.
So if
Or
we have
-1 bonus, sorry.
so if we have capital, we can get some gear if it's then below that number, or I'm just kind of looking at like another lamp because I know we have one lamp.
Rich individuals can automatically purchase equipment during an ongoing mystery by spending capital, as long as it is not done with an opposed roll. The point
Okay,
is
so you have to
spent
be
until
rich
the
to-
next mystery. Well, I read that as if you have capital.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah, because hurricane lamp sounds interesting. I don't know if we'll need lock picks.
I think it's a good idea. It's along the same lines as why I'm thinking of the crowbar as a good idea.
So yep, a crowbar.
Yeah.
I've already got the hurricane lamps. So we're good to go for light. I've got opera glasses so there. Since it's
The
kind of an
bow.
abandoned castle, hey Doc, do you have bandages? I'm assuming yes, but
Yeah, he'll heft up his doctor's bag. I
Okay.
intend to bring it.
excellent. What about rope? I'm thinking in case we need to climb at all, or in case we need to get anywhere we can't get to simply by walking.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
Also, what is aquavit? I don't know what it's alcohol. Okay.
Aquavite, I believe.
Aquavite. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that I don't drink?
I know it from Shadowrun, so
Yeah, I also know it from Shadowrun.
don't worry about it, man.
There, it's a magical liquor.
It's highly addictive.
Yeah.
Maybe a magnifying glass, maybe, but nah. Okay, at magnifying glass, I'm starting to push it. I'm like, I think we're good.
So if I want to do a hurricane lamp, then that says availability 1. Do I just take my capital down 1, or how's that?
Ava's
Yeah, so the capital would be right. It would be down 1 for the remainder of
Of
the mystery.
this. Okay.
Mhm.
I am going to go and do that and get a hurricane lamp. So at least a couple of us will have one.
Yeah. So we're not really going through the full preparation phase, as we're kind
Okay.
of still. You all will, that's going to come up. We're
Okay.
kind of in a I don't know, a session 0 mystery, I guess. That's what you could
Okay.
call it.
So then at this point, then we don't.
Yeah. So we would just,
Okay.
if there's anything specific you need, you'll spend a majority of the day with your collective capital getting what you need. All right. So did Kaiser, did Aster go buy himself a bow?
He did, yes.
Aster bought himself a bow? All right. Interesting.
Otherwise, he's defaulting on melee combat, so
Oh no.
yeah, we're gonna get a bow. Crossbow, far too expensive.
Oh boy. Okay. Are you all set to storm the castle?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So you spend a majority of the day, discussing and planning, gathering your supplies, and then you head to um, Castle Gillenkreutz. And when you get there, you find the castle, and it's almost like it's very out of place sitting in this city because the grounds are overrun with weeds and trees dying, and it is not being upkept at all. Um, and people really just avoid it. It's like really no one is even on this side of the street that's going in front of the castle. Um, Bram Stoker would be proud
Hmm,
of this, right?
looks welcoming. Did anybody bring a steak?
Frederick is going to breathe out kind of a shocked sigh when he sees it, and he's just going to whisper, "May the gods preserve us."
Yeah. So Eva, you know of this place, like you don't really know its like recent history,
Mhm.
but you know it was built a long time ago by an eccentric aristocrat, and it had followed more of a Gothic style. It was very popular, and it had balls in it at some, long time ago, and then it just fell into disrepair for a while, and then people just kind of forgot about it. But you didn't even know the society or Linnea or anything was associated with it.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
So you go in.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes.
All right. So you go to the gates. You can do an observation roll.
That sounds like a good idea all of a sudden.
I think I failed a spot check.
Oh,
I see
son of
some
a.
sixes out there. All right. So Hugo, we have some Hugo and Aster. Hugo, you notice that is at the gate that it's been. You can see that the gate has actually been opened. You can see like the drag marks in the ground, and so someone's going in and out of here. Um, it's not as like everything else just looks unkept and abandoned, but this gate's been used.
Hmm.
He will point this out for the rest of the group.
Yeah, this is.
Oh.
Yep. Looks like somebody's been here.
Can I use my opera glasses to take a look at the house as long as we're at the gate to take a look at it from
Sure.
quote unquote safe distance?
Yep.
All
Absolutely.
right. Cool. So that's going to give me a +1. Bonus dice. 1. Wow.
Oof.
A lot
Oh
of fives.
man, it's not
I,
Shadowrun.
apparently my opera glasses are dirty.
Yeah, you so you look in there and actually let's do this. You It's like when you see the castle and you put the glasses on and you think that you're going to kind of get a more clear view, but all of a sudden it's foggy.
Interesting.
and Misty, and go ahead and roll vigilance.
Okay. Using the opera glasses or not?
What
I
do
can
do they
also-
give you vigilance or do they give you observation? What is their?
They give me vigilance +1.
Oh yeah, you got them on. So yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay. That mist, the fog or whatever it is begins to form and something comes over you. You feel it wash over your body and you pull the glasses away and it's gone.
Interesting. With that something that comes over me, is it cold, hot, leaves crackling? What I mean,
Um,
tingling,
it was oppressive.
oppressive.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm going to relay that to Eva. I'm going to say, Mistress, you may want to take a look through these. And I'm just going to hand her the opera glasses and say, just look at that house.
All right. I guess I'll do that.
Go ahead and roll observation.
And is the opera +2 for the opera glasses?
It is +1 to vigilance.
Oh,
Yeah. So the difference between them.
Oakley let me make sure I don't have anything for observation. That's for vigilance. Okay.
Yeah. So like they would be used to notice if something's sneaking up on you. Looking for stealth,
For the love of God.
that kind of thing.
I haven't got a single success.
You don't see anything. Well, I mean, you just see the mansion or the castle. Yeah, whatever he thought he saw, you don't see anything.
What is it I'm trying to see?
You don't see it. You don't see the fog, the sense of just the sense of wrongness about this place.
There is no fog, dear. I think you're getting too much into your own head. She'll like hand him back the opera glasses and then go to push open the gate. Provided it's unlocked.
It is. Yeah, it swings
Okay.
open.
And he's just going to mutter, "May the gods protect us all."
And she'll like click her fingers at her dog, yeah, Artemis heel, and have her Artemis, her hunting dog, right there
Okay.
at her, like right on her right leg.
Okay. And you all move in.
Frederick is going to mutter to Lucario, "I hope your deity protects us, dear boy, because there is nowhere else we need it more."
I hope so too. I also feel an unsettling feeling about this place. I'm not entirely sure what it is.
There's some, I'm not, there's something, you feel it as well.
Yes,
There's something.
something I felt back at the. And he trails off, and he doesn't finish his sentence.
Can Frederick tell, like, oh shit, oh, he's talking about the mental hospital, isn't he? Can Frederick do that? Is he like,
Yeah.
okay. And Frederick's just gonna stop dead in the midst of walking in and go, "Boy, what did you see at that asylum?" And he's going to say it out loud so the whole party can hear him.
Oh, I don't entirely understand it myself. When I went to go in to bless the woman, when my hand touched her forehead, I saw this almost like a vision of this foggy, misty place where there were leaves, dry, dead leaves everywhere. And I heard this sawing noise. And I just felt this dark presence, a cold and just My heart felt like a stone when I was seeing this place. I felt like I was there. It almost felt like she was telling me something, but I couldn't fully grasp what it was.
It is
going,
autumn. Of course you felt cold.
I'm gonna look down. Are there dead leaves underfoot right now?
There are.
I'm gonna lift one foot and then very deliberately set it down so leaves crunch beneath it.
They
And
crunch
then
and
look at
crackle.
everyone.
Yeah.
Standing
Hey.
here talking about this isn't going to get us any further. Can we keep moving and talk about this later?
Aye, mistress. But he is going to take out his revolver and check that it's loaded and put it back in its holster without snapping the holster closed.
I finally managed to find my Irish accent.
My dog had it.
I'm gonna say she pulls out the proper English when she's in like
Okay.
polite company. The more irritated she gets,
Now
the
she'll
more
really throw
Irish
one
she
back with
is.
Hugo. All right. So you press on?
Not a big one.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So you press on.
Eva's definitely leading.
You're walking through the crackling leaves. The trees around you are, well, most of them seem dying. The brush is thicket, and it's just a mess. And the castle just looms over you, ominous. And it's like you're pretty sure the sky was mostly clear when you came in, but now it's almost like there's just gray clouds have shown up.
Hmm.
And you all feel this oppressiveness on you. So you have a choice to use to deal with this. You can use your logic or you can use your empathy.
At this point, before we do either, can Frederick just Eva, mistress,
Hmm.
please let me take the lead on this.
You know very well I'm a better shot than you are.
That's why you should be in back.
You can shoot what's eating me.
Oh, she probably is. I've got a precision of 4 and a ranged combat of 1.
She only beats him by 1 die then.
Yes.
What's his physique?
Oh, his physique is 2 with 0s in agility, close combat, and force.
You should not be in front. I'm just
He
saying.
should not be in front.
We're a group of weedies.
She has 3 physique
Oh, okay, okay.
and at least 2 agility. She's not very good at hand to hand, but she's got the agility.
I have 3 physique and like 0 on the close combat
I
agility.
have.
She's a spry old woman.
He grew up as a sickly child and he's a chef. He's not meant to be a soldier.
So Hugo
Eva
is
is
3
fine.
and 1.
So
you're just-
this oppressiveness comes over you.
logic
Okay.
And
right?
yeah, you just have to dig down mentally. And you're going to do that with logic to work through it, or you're going to try to, pull on your soul or your empathy of some kind to just push back against it.
So you know how I mentioned to everyone earlier
Oh,
that I carry a bottle of wine around in a
No.
bag with me at all times? I was gonna ask, can I offer to pour everybody just a touch, finger right now, just to inspire the crew?
Okay.
But everybody rolled, so
So those who failed,
oh.
um,
all
For
right.
the love of God, I apparently can't roll
Everyone but
any
me.
successes.
There you go.
Everyone.
Look at that.
Everyone but Aster.
See, Eva.
Oh wait,
succeeded.
okay. Wait. Oh, it must have been behind then. Okay, there it is.
Lucario
Okay.
and Hugo.
Wait, no, it rolled twice. I only hit it once.
All right, let's see here.
Ouch.
Okay. Um, all right, so those of you who failed, you take one mental condition
Ooh.
as you feel fear starting to overcome you.
All right. And we can choose which mental condition we take. Or does it start at the top and work down?
It'll start at the top, and well, actually, you can pick frightened.
Okay. Because that
Okay.
seems like that would make
Mhm.
more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So you take the mental condition, and did anyone push the roll?
No.
Okay. All right. And
So
for those who
they
fail, those who pass, you feel it coming, and you just kind of push through what it is. But those who fail, you start to see this. Like the trees were, it was pretty thick, but like the trees they're sparsely around the yard, and it's overgrown. But for some reason, it's just you don't remember this many trees around you when you were entering, and like these mists flowing through the trees, and it's like crawling in on you, and you see in this mist, you see like what looks like they're either dogs or wolves, the shadows moving among the trees.
And, uh, d- does Frederick observe that Hugo and Lucario are beginning to kind of get the shakes a little bit?
Yeah.
Um,
So
can I try to inspire him? Just hold tight, comrades. We're in a group. It'll be difficult to hurt us as is. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to uncover what's going on here, and we will all walk out.
and I'm kind of like frozen in place. I'm kind of like my
yeah.
breathing's kind of
So it's making you uh, terrified. And so you will either flee, you will freeze, you will faint, or you'll attack. And you can roll random or you can choose what your character will do.
I'm frozen in place. My breathing is I'm
I
like kind of hyperventilating a little, and I'm mumbling words to myself.
Okay.
um I will roll. Um is there a table to roll or is that just
There is on, yes, there is actually. Let me,
I'm just crossing my fingers. Please don't attack. Please don't attack. Please don't attack.
let me see if I can. And um, sorry, one moment. It's taking, yeah. So basically, go ahead and roll, and
okay.
we'll just do there's no actual table. There's just 4 options.
Okay.
So you just
And
need to
then
go 1 through 4. You can do just roll 1d4.
okay. So is it just roll space 1d4?
Yep, / R space 1d4.
Okay. One.
All right, so you flee.
Okay.
Ugh.
I am
You're out of
heading
here.
back to the gate. See you guys.
All right, so was it just Hugo and Lucario?
Yeah.
All right, so you see Lucario freeze up, and Hugo just turns and bolts. He's not having this. And the others, the rest of you, you felt something, and then you pushed it away.
So we don't even see the wolves.
No. You don't see anything. Nothing's changed as far as you're concerned. Hugo, as you're running, you hear the patter of the feet behind you chasing you, and then you hear the sawing echoing through
Oof.
trees.
Ugh. The trees kind of above me then.
It's like you're running through a dense forest all of a sudden.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Um. So while I'm running, I grab my revolver.
Okay, so you run out of the gate. You see Hugo run out. He stops. He gets outside the gate. He just stops, and he's kind of standing there panting. And then Lucario snaps out of it. And everything's as it was. And Hugo, when you turn around, you just see everyone standing there, and everything else is back to the way it was when you entered.
You got it out of your
Lovely.
system now.
I like like I fall to my knees and I'm kind of like clutching my heart. I'm just like breathing heavily.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Frederick's,
could use some more of that wine now.
Frederick's gonna put a hand on Lucario's shoulder, and he's gonna call to Hugo. Well, I have some of it in this bag right here, and I think we could all use a finger about now. And boy, we're all gonna walk out of here safe. It's gonna be fine.
And Hugo just grabs out his journal and just kind of writes down what he saw
Okay.
and heard.
Okay. All right.
So, am I able to inspire the boy to lose his mental condition? Lucario.
Yeah.
That's not the boy, Lucario. Okay.
Boy.
I swear I'm going to remember it. All right. So we're going to go inspiration. Cross your fingers. Oh, thank goodness it worked.
Woo.
All right. There you go, Lucario. I did the "you're going to be okay, boy" thing. And now you're okay.
All right.
I hope, if the DM's okay with it.
Yeah, if that
Yeah. So you can use that. We'll just go with it. It is something you can do. I'm not sure on all the timing, but
Okay.
yeah, it makes sense narratively. So, all right.
okay.
Hugo's cautiously walking back to you. He doesn't looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. You're talking to Lucario and Esther and Eva. What are you doing while Frederick is coaching the two back into the group?
Eva's mostly keeping an eye on their surroundings, make sure nothing actually comes out of the trees.
Okay.
So, she's kind of vigilantly one direction, the dog at her side, but facing the opposite direction.
Yeah. Aster has his bow in his hand and his medical kit on his back. He is suspicious, though he thinks that they just might have the jitters. He is also keeping watch around them, making sure while the weaker members of the group are recovering, they're not snuck up upon.
I am wounded, sir.
Well, then he can heal you.
I saw that coming.
So I get up and I tell I go to Frederick, I'm like, thank you, sir. And I go ahead and pull out my lamp and I say a prayer to myself like, Lord, be my light.
All
and I
right.
light it.
And Frederick is going to kind of side eye the kid a little bit at the prayer, but not say anything about it.
It is hard to see the light because the sun's up, but
Yeah, that
he
sun
does appear to feel a lot better.
He's gonna pull out a small glass,
All right.
just and pour just like a couple of fingers of wine and hand it to Hugo when he gets back.
It's like, oh yes, thanks. Nothing better than this healing juice.
So what is it now? Move
That
on,
is
pressing forward.
fine.
We're
Yes.
pressing
Yeah.
Press forward
forward.
before Eva
That
loses
is
her
my
temper
fine wine, which
So-
with
gives
you
me
all.
inspiration. And thank goodness it did, because I only got one success.
All right. So you press forward. You get closer to the, to the entrance there, and this thing is very ominous, just looming over you. And you think you see, like, it's hard to tell because it's so bright outside, but there may have been a light in one of the windows.
Hmm.
And then you get up to the door.
Okay, well,
Is it unlocked?
It is locked.
Well, we brought it.
Lucario, do you mind?
Oh, of course. I'll give it a shot. Did you just stealth again?
Yeah, could you sell?
Need to get you some good old lock picks.
All right.
So you're able to, whatever locking mechanism it has, you're able to get that unlocked, but there's something else. Like you try to open the door, but it just rattles in place. There's some other mechanism fortifying it shut. And your best guess is something on the inside has braced it.
I think there might be some sort of board or chain holding the door closed. I can't seem to open it. I'm terribly sorry.
Right.
well, we could try a window. If there's any.
Are there any windows on the ground floor?
Yes, you could climb up to them. Easy enough.
Well, in we go, right?
Yeah, why don't you give me a hand up and I'll unlock the door from the inside.
All right. You all turn to walk towards one of the sides, and then that's where you hear the mechanism on the inside of the door seems to be moving,
Oh,
Oh, for feck's sake.
and the door starts to open.
you know, Eve, I agree with you. You should go first.
She'll step forward to face whoever or whatever it is.
Yeah, so you see a man standing there holding the door open. And let me
I was gonna say, does this man look human?
I guess we could have started off by knocking, I guess, instead of trying to break in.
oh yes.
What?
Yes, well, nobody's supposed to be here.
Who? Us?
Hmm.
He looks severe.
Yeah, he does. So he's standing there, but he's very proper, like very good, what is the main
Posture.
yeah, the head servant in the household.
Yeah.
Um or butler, yeah. And he stands there very very good posture, just looking at you stone faced. Says,
Morning.
"May I help you?"
Yes, we were invited here by one Linnea. Keep forgetting her last name.
I forget her last name too.
Linnea Elphiclint.
Yep. He raises one eyebrow. Is that so?
Aye.
Well, I'm afraid Linnea doesn't live here anymore.
I was sure nobody did. So if you don't mind my asking, who are you?
My name is Algot Frisk. I am the keeper of this house, of this castle. Once servant to Linnea. And then he kind of tilts his head a little bit and eyes you, the group of you, and says, and the society.
At that, Frederick's eyebrows are going to shoot skywards.
So it seems like we may have a lot to talk about. If you don't mind letting us in.
He gives a bow and stands aside, holds his hand out for you to go in.
Did you know that we were coming?
No, but I did hear the ruckus at the door. It helps to keep
What?
it barred from the inside while I'm here, although most have learned not to enter the grounds.
But if you don't know us, why let us in?
He looks up at the castle. It wasn't my choice, I'm afraid. Please. The castle is run down, but I still have some ability to be hospitable to guests.
Looks like Eva's already past the threshold.
So the immediate entrance is grand, like what you would expect from a large castle. It is where you are. The entryway is it's run down. It's dirty, but it's not abandoned. It does look like it has. It's basically a massive castle if one person was trying to upkeep it, is what it looks like. So there's some immediate rooms that you can see that are open, but you also see other doorways down the hall that are boarded up. So do you all file in?
Yeah, I'll head in.
All right.
Eva's already in, so Frederick's gonna follow. He's not
Okay.
happy about it, but he's following.
I'll follow close behind Frederick.
And do you follow everywhere she goes?
Of course I do. She is my employer.
Fair enough.
All right. So you all pile into the castle,
Yep.
and Frisk shuts the door behind you and slides that brace back between the two doors.
So, Frisk, how many people stay here at the castle?
Just me. And I don't stay here generally overnight, but I do return every morning to check on it and to do what
So-
upkeep I can.
So what happened here?
Please. He points to some, rundown sofas. Sit and let me grab you a drink.
Whose choice was it to let us in?
He walks off. As he's walking off. Yes, well, let's
We'll
just
talk
say
over
this old castle has its ways. So he goes and he comes back with wine for everyone except Lucario.
I go, dude, could I at least have, I don't know,
It's
some
like
water?
It's
or
like soda water.
sparkling
Just
juice.
a little juice box.
with a bendy straw.
A Capri.
Yeah.
Could I get a Capri Sun, please? A Capri Sun.
Ye oldie Capri Sun.
So, question to you
Ye old apple juice from the plastic bag.
guys. Is this wine good wine? Frederick is absolutely gonna, take a deep inhale, and et cetera, et cetera.
So,
Hmm.
what brings you to the castle?
Linnea does. Did.
She invited you to the castle?
Technically, she invited us to dinner 2 nights ago. But seeing as how she's admitted herself into the asylum, she did not make it.
That
Or never
seems
intended to.
odd that she would invite you and not be there. I've not seen Linnea in quite some time. From what I do know, her mental capacity would be a barrier to making such invitations.
She seems rather intelligent in her letters, and she'll like pull out one of the letters and just like, can you verify that's even her handwriting?
Let me have a look. He looks at it. Even his his motions are very proper, and even how he holds it out and reads it. I'm sorry, this is not Linnea's handwriting.
Then
That is
whose
not,
might
huh?
it be?
And
I'm afraid I don't know.
Hmm.
did Linnea have a second place of living?
She did. A decade ago or so, she left the castle and she moved into a little home here at Uppsala.
Do you know
There
what was the
were
reason?
events that kept her from coming back, and the society dispersed slowly after that.
So, what did happen that led to the dispersal?
Again, I'm afraid I don't know. You see, I don't have the sight. He kind of pauses and lets you to gauge your reaction.
I kind of
So,
just straighten up and kind of just like look, kind of like a little worriedly at everyone.
yes. So I
Why
can't
is it you
see things the same way Linnea does, as you know.
why is it that you
Oh.
keep coming back if the society doesn't exist any longer?
He looks around with uh, kind of like he just loves this place. Like you could see it even on his stone face. He just has a connection here.
Hmm.
My family has served this castle. I am the third generation of that service. I do not want to see my family's legacy just vanish.
Understandable. Do you know who owns the deed to this castle?
Linnea owns the deed.
Well, that could be troubling.
Hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
Most people avoid this castle, and I think certain aspects.
having come this way, I can understand why.
Hmm. You
There
have the
is
sight,
a
so you
presence.
actually don't understand. Many people just tend to forget about this place.
Yes, well, it's
Hmm.
safer that way.
Do you have a kitchen? Is it stocked?
I have a small kitchen here that was for the staff. The main
Hmm.
kitchen is blocked off. It would take considerable effort to get to many parts of this castle to clean them up and make them usable again. But the kitchen I do have, you are free to use.
May I? And Frederick is going to gesture away from this room and mention, I'm a chef. I think this conversation may do well with some apples.
So do you head into the kitchen?
I mean, with his permission.
Of course. I'm afraid you may find the choice of well, food to be limited.
Ah, that is no worry. I'm sure I can whip something up. I'm going to begin pulling pencils and a few dry ingredients and other such things out of my bag. They could quit chewing on my USB cable. Sorry, my dog. But I'm going to begin pulling some dry ingredients and silverware and whatnot out of the bag that I carry with me, so I can maybe brighten spirits just a touch. So I'm going to be spending some time in the kitchen cooking up a meal while people chat.
All
Are
right.
there any records remaining from the society?
Public records would be sparse, if
Oh, I
any.
meant that they left here.
We do have the old library.
Is it
It
accessible?
not without considerable effort, but it is there. And it will have, I assume, some of the information you seek. Unfortunately, when the society dispersed, some decided to start their own endeavors. Much of what we had was dispersed, either lost or sold, but some of it remains.
Well, let's go take a look at what it'll take to get into the library.
I'll-
Um,
and I can come with because I have at least some learning, so I
Okay.
might be able to help with that.
Okay.
As can the doctor.
I will follow.
Well, if it's a
Oh.
tour you want, then.
please.
So he takes you to some areas of the castle and he shows you one of the doors. There's been like some damage in a cave in. So he opens a door that leads into a wing of the castle that you would have to go through this debris and clear it out to get to it.
Oof.
So you would have to bring some people in, have them clear it out, or clear it out yourself, however you want to do
Like,
it. But it could take weeks to a month.
Yeah.
do you think we should have one person stay with Frederick, just so that he isn't alone in this
In the kitchen.
humongous castle?
He prefers to be left alone when he's cooking. He gets rather testy if anybody's in the
You know-
kitchen with him.
It's a spiritual
That's
thing.
fine. You guys just keep going ahead. I'll go back and check on Frederick.
And the wine stash.
And, well, I didn't say that.
What?
So yeah, so Hugo starts heading back to the front.
Okay. So you go back to the front, and what did you want to ask of? Anything else you wanted to ask of Frisk?
Really, Eva's gonna get an eye for what damage needs to be repaired, what we need to clean out. She's gonna like pull out just a small little like pocketbook basically that she is like checking notes on, like we need, rubble here, X amount of time, number of workers, how much will that cost roughly? And she's basically doing numbers to figure out what it's going to take to get this place back into shape. Note to herself, by deed.
Okay.
Mother. Sorry, my headphones keep coming unplugged.
All right. So Hugo, you're going back to the kitchen. right?
Well, Hugo, he said he's going back to the kitchen. He's actually going back to the entrance where we came in.
Okay.
And I'm taking out my notebook and actually getting down kind of on the floor. I'm going to use my talent of automatic writing. When I can channel spirits through automatic writing using inspiration to get clues. The game master can provide more or less vague clues, predictions about the future, or minor insights into the thoughts and experience of your enemies. I'm curious about this. Well, first of all, this building, but also this guy. I don't even know. I'm curious if he's even human or not.
Okay.
But
All
I'm gonna
right.
give it a
So
try.
go ahead and is it a roll or
It's
is
an inspiration, so I'll use inspiration.
okay?
And it sounds like if I get success, and the more success, more information, maybe.
So you just start writing or okay.
Yeah. So my eyes kind of just turn white. I'm just sitting there, kind of writing, not really, kind of the spirits are leading what I write.
Okay.
Oh, and I stank it up. Oh, no. I don't think I want to push. Let me look and see what it says because let's see here. Okay. On failure, the game master decides whether you suffer a condition, become possessed, or undergo a personality change.
Oh.
Oh,
Decide what kind.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Oh,
some-
look at his fucking
Do you
smile.
do you want to push or
I don't even know. It doesn't even say anything about a push. I don't.
Oh,
But that could be really
you
bad.
should still be able to push it.
If
That is brutal.
okay.
Do it,
So
do it.
you're sitting there and you're trying to get something and then you just start trembling and your hand is just going crazy like a spasm and you can't
Oh,
control yourself or come out of it and you have no idea. It feels like it just goes on and on and on and on and on and then you stop. And were you like on paper or notebook or
yeah, yep. I just had my notebook. I just opened that up and
yeah, so you look down at your book and you expect like nasty scribbling, destroyed paper, but you actually drew a picture of it's a tree and there's a woman standing next to it.
Hmm.
And under the tree you wrote knock knock.
Huh.
And then the door behind you, there's two
Oh,
knocks.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh.
uh, um,
Well
I
played.
kind of because the kitchen is not far off from here, right?
Correct, you
Or
can-
is it?
I mean, can you sprint to the kitchen or
Can I sprint or yell? I was gonna yell at Frederick. Is like, did you hear anything?
if you're close to the kitchen, you can probably smell something by now.
yeah, you look
Do
around.
I
burnt
smell
toast?
anything? Do I smell wine?
Burnt toast.
You hear like some boiling water in there. He like probably found some potatoes and he's gonna boil them up. Uh,
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run towards the kitchen.
all right, so you stand up and you hear this knock knock again. And you run?
I run.
Okay, you run to the kitchen. And Frederick, you're in there, and all of a sudden, Hugo comes bolting in, eyes wide, holding his book in one hand and his pencil in the other.
What? What is it? What did you? What? Look at you! You're in a cold sweat. What happened?
I
Why
I
are
don't
you-
even say anything to him. I start looking in the cupboards.
He puts
I
his
know
book
that-
down and his pencil down, and he's just going through the cupboards.
Frederick
Like-
is
And
gonna
then you
start, like,
hear-
slapping at his wrists. Like,
That's where
"Stay
when
out
you
of
hear
my
the
cupboards."
knocking, you hear someone knocking at the door, Frederick.
Oh. And he's going to suddenly stop slapping. And he's going to look at Hugo very slowly. And then he's going to look down at Hugo's book. Does he see the same thing Hugo did? The knock knock with the tree and the woman?
No, the book is closed. You don't see anything.
So he's going to look at Hugo and look down at the book, the closed book. look back at Hugo, and very, very quietly, he's just going to say, "What did you do?"
I was just writing. So I opened the book up. I'm assuming well, it's still there, I guess. I opened to the page that I was working on is the
Mm-hmm. You see it. Oh yeah. And there's a woman standing there. She's
does the woman, I mean, I don't know how well my art is, but does it look anything like the woman that what's her
Linnea.
name? Yeah.
Would
no.
any of them know what it
It's
would look
a.
like? What
It's
she would look like
actually.
though?
Frederick sees this too, and you're actually quite stunned at how well it's drawn.
But, I mean, a high-end family did bring me in to do art, so
And it does say knock knock at the bottom. And just after you read that, Frederick, you hear again at the
Oof.
door.
So
The
Frederick
woman
is
in the picture is not. She's young. She's probably. I mean, she's a young age. Not and
Frederick's going to very carefully turn off the stove, and then he's going to take some salt, and he's going to very gently pour a ring of salt around the notebook. And then he's going to say, "Don't touch." And he's going to just kind of very gently grab Hugo's arm and start and lead out to where he saw the rest of the party going. And he's going to shout at the top of his lungs, "Eva, we have a situation."
so the woman in the picture, she has like one hand, her right hand's up, touching the tree. Her left hand is down, holding a letter.
Okay.
Looks like an envelope or a letter of some kind.
Mm.
Oh.
I wonder if
And
this is
she's
the
actually
lady
dressed nice.
that sent us the letter.
So yeah, Frederick very much wants to show the rest of the party that image.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're leaving the book surrounded in salt on the table and then go get the rest of the group.
Surrounded by a circle of salt. Yeah, he's gonna go.
Okay. The other, while this is going on, you all hear a knock.
Ugh.
And of course, Frisk says, it's odd. I will check the door. And he turns and leaves and to walk towards the door while you three are looking at your, doing your numbers. So I don't know what Lucario and Aster are doing well. Eva is running numbers.
So did we hear him cry out yet, or is that
No,
or has that
no,
not?
Hugo didn't cry out or anything. You didn't hear anything.
Oh
No, he's
no.
talking about
Frederick.
Frederick.
Oh, did you
Calling
yell
out
out
for
to them,
Eva.
Frederick?
Yeah.
Oh,
Frederick kind of grabbed Hugo's arm and started tugging him out the circle of
yeah,
salt.
that's like in a few seconds that's coming.
Okay.
Yeah,
I kind of
Frisk
just
has walked away, then you'll hear. Yeah, then you'll hear it.
Yeah,
okay,
Eva's
I
just kind of like doing estimates in her notebook based on like maybe renovations she's done to one of her homes before. And estimating
kinda-
manpower costs.
I'm kind of taking like a look around like the walls, see if there's anything of note, like anything at all.
Okay. You can do an observation roll.
Hmm.
All right.
So you've, for the most part, it's, you can tell that a lot of things have been removed from the wall in the
Mm,
areas you're looking. There's like a very, very faint hint of something was there a long time ago.
mm.
Um, but that's all you don't find anything useful other than just the recognition that there used to be a lot more here wherever you are.
Okay.
And then you hear Frederick yell out for Eva.
She closes her book with the pin where her page was. Stuffs it back in a pocket. She'll head that way.
Oh, we must hurry. Something must be in they must be in trouble. It has to be something wrong.
So
Come.
you two head towards the kitchen. Lucario's ushering you two along, and Frederick, you and Hugo come out of the kitchen just in time to see Frisk opening the door.
I'm going to push Hugo towards them and start briskly walking towards the door and just say, Hugo, tell them everything that happened, show them the notebook. I need to go take care of something.
Did we bring the notebook?
No, it's surrounded in salt in the kitchen.
Salt in the kitchen.
Okay. So you're sending him around, Hugo, or around Frisk, avoiding Frisk.
I'm
At the
sending Hugo back towards the party, and I'm walking.
Well, the
towards
party's
him.
on the other side of Frisk.
yeah, they're on the other side of Frisk.
Then
So-
yes, I'm sending him around Frisk.
So Frisk is going to the front door. Is that where?
Yeah,
that
he's in the
knock is from?
process of opening the door right now.
And that's not the same. Is that
That's
the same
where the
place
knocking is.
where I heard the knock?
That's where the
from?
knocking is. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to tell him to stop.
Oh, I thought the party was the other way. Okay.
Nope.
No, okay. They're on the other
We
side.
were-
Don't open the door.
Okay, you yell that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Everyone hears that yelling, not to open the door. And Frisk is like holding the door. He looks over. It's like, what is this man yelling about?
Frederick's just gonna kind of give Hugo a gentle shove back to the kitchen and just say, then stay there. And he's gonna keep walking towards the door.
And Frisk opens it.
Mhm.
It says, may I help you? And you hear a woman's voice. She says, I'm looking for Linnea.
How about we all just like stay dead quiet?
Yeah, everyone's quiet. Even Frisk is like a little quiet. And he says, I'm afraid she's no longer living here. May I ask who's knocking? And you all approach close enough to hear. Yes, my name is Layla Stenbeck, and I'm here to deliver a letter to Linnea. I come on behalf of Gustav Quist. Now, Eva, you know that name. Gustav Quist is a extremely wealthy businessman, who his first company was famous out of Stockholm. He started a lumber company.
Sound of saws.
Oof.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Huh.
Well, Frisk looks over at it, glances around at you all. Linnea is indisposed, but perhaps, yes,
We can deliver the letter.
Yes.
perhaps there's someone here who can take your letter and help you. Please come in. So the woman walks in and looks amazingly like the woman in your drawing,
Mm.
Hugo. I don't know if you're standing watching or if you're back in the kitchen.
Oh, I've
Only
been
Frederick would have
watching.
seen it and made the connection. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so you see her too. And she's holding a letter in her left hand that she hands to Frisk.
If you don't mind my asking, Miss Steinbeck, what's Mr. Quist's interest with Linnea?
Mr. Quist has a most urgent problem that he is insistent that the society handles. He entrusted it to me to make sure this letter gets here without any unwanted eyes reading it.
Unfortunately, Miss Linnea is indisposed.
That is
And she
unfortunate. Is there
looks
anyone
at the
else in the society who can help?
Not in the society per se.
Frisk says, yes. Yes, these people can help you.
Ah,
And he motions her to give the letter to Eva.
Yeah, she'll step forward and take the letter.
All right.
oh,
It says, Dearest Linnea, I hope this letter finds you well, as it has been too long since our last correspondence. It's the topic of that correspondence that has me reaching out to you in this desperate time, for I require your help to preserve my son from what could be a similar fate as our former colleague. Since my retirement years ago, leadership of my companies now belong to various members of the Quist family. My son Alex, heading Quist Lumber out of Stockholm, has recently purchased large amounts of land along the Arbogo River. Taking advantage of the recently passed Log Driving Act, Alex intends to begin timber floating across the Maryland Lake and into Stockholm. Knowing the history of the Arbogo River, you can understand my concern. Over the last few weeks, news from the small logging camp outside of Kungsor deepened my concern. Reports indicating lumberers are disappearing into the forest, and wolves have attacked several workers. Hunting parties have formed to exterminate the wolf population. In turn, a worker was murdered by locals, claiming to be defending the forest and its inhabitants. The cycle of revenge has begun, and as if it couldn't get worse for my family, my son, Alex, has gone to the lumber site to ensure logging continues. I fear his panic about salvaging this disaster will only make matters worse. There is no doubt in my mind that this matter belongs in the hands of the society. I beg your help in resolving this issue and preventing more loss of life. While the financial loss means nothing to me, my son is desperate to prove his worth by turning a profit for this family business. Therefore, I must keep my involvement a secret, lest Alex harden his resolve and take more drastic measures. My assistant, Frokon Linnea Stenbeck, who delivered this letter, will help make the travel arrangements and see to your expenses. I promise more than fair compensation to the society for resolving this issue and seeing the safety of my son and everyone involved. Your friend, Gustav Quist.
hmm.
I remember seeing wolves when we were outside of the castle. When
Hmm.
huh,
Hmm.
I kind of mumbled to myself like, well, wonder that has anything to do with what I saw outside the castle. What about the wolves and the hunting? Interesting.
There were no wolves outside the castle. Unless you
But
count Artemis. She's a wolfhound, technically.
I saw a group of wolves. They were growling and snarling as
There
if
was nothing there.
perhaps you're right. I apologize.
Yes, what Mr. Frisk said is correct. I believe we can take this on.
Layla says, good. Well, as Mr. Quist stated, I am here to see to your needs and your travel arrangements. And whatever expenses you may incur, the Quist family will fund whatever it is you need.
Frederick is going to look at Frisk and just very, very politely. May we perhaps use this site as a meeting space while we are arranging everything for this task?
I believe it might be better if we take it to my homestead here until I can arrange workers to get this place cleaned up a bit. No offense, Mr. Frisk. You've kept it rather well for doing it on your own.
None taken.
That's a point.
The castle is here at your disposal for what it is. And I look forward to restoration efforts.
Of course.
Miss Stenbeck, may I offer you anything? Just a drink, please.
A drink? Whoa.
So
I
he
can go
goes
grab
off.
that.
Still your heart, child.
Yeah, he goes to the
Your
kitchen.
son.
I don't. Hugo, are you still there, or where are you? Are you still at the?
I'm kind of was well, Frederick kind of pushed me towards the kitchen, but I stopped to kind of watch what was happening. So I'm still kind of in the open area, but kind of closer to the kitchen side.
Okay.
We still need to talk, Hugo, about what happened to you.
You hear Frisk in the kitchen. What idiot put salt around the book?
That's my salt, Frisk, and I'll thank you kindly not to move it until I can find a suitable container.
I'm gonna go towards the kitchen to grab my notebook.
Okay. You go in there and it's still open to the page, but the page is blank.
Oof.
Interesting.
Spooky.
Alright, so if we got wolves attacking lumberers. Perhaps we should see about some silver bullets.
Uh,
That's what the legends say, right?
Layla
Or
raises
was
an
it holy
eyebrow.
water?
Well,
I don't see why we couldn't provide both.
it would take some time, but I suppose we could have those manufactured before you go, if you think they would help.
Just working on assumptions here. I doubt he would approach the society if he weren't sure it wasn't.
I don't know much about this society, but Mr. Quist was very adamant that this is the only place that could handle this particular problem.
He's approaching the society. This is something more than wolves he's concerned about.
Yes, he is. His son, Alex.
Yes, of course, just his son. Yes.
I don't know the history he implies in that letter with Linnea or this former colleague.
It
I
sounds as though
suppose
he may have once been a part of the society himself. As was Linnea, in which case another member of the society would be the colleague that they shared.
well, that makes sense. He is a wealthy man and he's involved in many groups, societies, if you will. I suppose there's no reason he couldn't have been a member here.
Takes a special sort.
Of course.
By any chance, it wouldn't happen to take roughly 2 weeks, give or take, to get us to that hunting site or that logging site on the river. Would it, DM?
No, it would not.
I'm looking at that calendar and going,
um,
If you
I,
ask that, Layla says, I can arrange for train that would take you far as Kungsgård. And from there we can go by boat to the small area where Mr. Quist refers to in the letter.
What is your predicted time to get there from here?
Considering the hour of the day, I could have train tickets for tomorrow if you were ready to go. Depending on the connections we make, I suppose 2 or 3 days is reasonable.
Yeah, so we
Quist
don't want to
Lumber
take too long.
owns the dock where the lumber company is preparing their timber floating, so the boats are all readily available to us. Of course, you'll have to go in disguise. Perhaps representatives of the county or something. If you associate yourself with the Quist family, well, Alex may just have you removed and banned from the premises.
They've sent hunters, no?
Yes,
Have
they
not
are looking for
returned?
hunters.
While this conversation is happening, I go like I'm somewhere in the middle of the room and I get on my knees and I begin to pray.
Okay.
I just like start like saying some sort of like prayer, and I want to. How many times can we use talents?
I don't think there's a limit.
I think
just-
my particular one says one per gaming session.
Oh, okay. So
So
they
if
do
If
have
there's
their own.
not
and the-
if there's not a stated limit,
No.
Then
to your
probably not.
discretion.
All right. There's none on mine. All right. Then I want to use
Okay.
medium again.
Okay. Go ahead. Oof.
Okay.
Are you using it on Layla? Is that? Oh, it's just people's future performance stance predicted.
Or contact the dead. So just to see if maybe there's someone who used to.
Oh, you got a 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So you pull something rather quickly,
Oof.
and everyone all of a sudden feels a presence in the room start to surround you, and you start to see ghostly image shadows, I guess, kind of pacing or like circling around you, going through the walls a little bit and coming back out across the room. They appear to be on 4 legs. They don't really have, it's hard to see a physical shape, but definitely 4-leg, easily be a canine. And there's
There we go.
3 or 4 of them. You all see this. And you see Lucario on the floor chanting. And then Layla says, "Is he okay?"
The boys and Frederick is going to tilt his head a little bit and just tap his temple a touch. And then he's just going to wink and say, "Don't worry about it. Let us handle it."
So you're all like watching these things go around you. You notice that Layla's looking around confused.
She doesn't see them.
Mm.
Right, she doesn't have the sight. So, Eva, in response to Layla, will just say, he had. He's too young yet to realize that the answers we generally seek do not come from above.
So Lucario, they circle you for a bit, and then the spirits vanish.
Did they act? Sorry, go ahead.
I kind of like I'm like kind of shaking a bit, and I kind of look bewildered and just confused on what just happened, like as if I had no control over, or had no idea that I had done that.
I'm curious, assuming they were wolves, which given size and quadrupedal seems relatively likely. Did they act was their pace that of one like they were encircling prey? stalking.
No, it was more kind of hurried, a hurried pace.
Hmm. Well, you will write now, Lucario.
I don't know. It was, I felt a connection almost. I still fully can't understand this feeling, but I'll need more time to think on it.
Have a seat.
All right.
Frederick, would you mind finishing up us a lunch? Just something light.
I am. And Frederick is going to head to the kitchen and
All right.
finish cooking up that he's got a wonderful idea for a nicely seasoned potato and leek stew.
All right. Well, that puts us, I think, at the end of our introduction session. Next, we
Alright, okay.
will go into the mystery starts. So you will start with your preparation for your journey. Assuming you want to help answer Gustav Quist's request, I'm assuming so.
Well, yes.
Or we'll go back to the drawing board and think of something new.
Go find a different
Oh,
group
might as
of
well.
wandering weirdos.
Yeah.
We're busy.
This is too much for us. Yeah. A little too
Yeah.
much.
So what you'll want to think about for the next episode is what is the relationships you've built between each other throughout all this, how your characters perceive the other characters. And then we can add those to the sheets.
They have recommended like relationship things for each
Yeah,
what
each
do they call
archetype
them?
has a
Archetype.
yeah.
Yes.
And there's also, you'll take a moment from this session that will become your advantage. So something your character did, experienced, that you can, and you can use that advantage during the mystery to gain a bonus to any check. It's the mechanic is flexible, but it's all about find the narrative behind your story and then how that affected them during when things are going wrong or they need a boost. How does that come into play? And that could be, you built camaraderie with someone, so when you're together during a situation, you can pull on each other to gain an advantage, that kind of thing. But it can just be whatever your character may have experienced. All right. Well, that is it for today. I'm going to say thanks everyone for joining us, and we look forward in the next 2 weeks to get our next session recorded. And I cannot wait to get into our first mystery.
Let's go.
All right.
A lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm going to sign off and stop the recording. Good night, all.
Woot.
Good night.
Yep.
Bye.